This is Sky Sports 2, live.
Bracknell Bees against the Cardiff Devils has an extra sting in the tail. Last time they met, a power failure delayed the game for more than an hour. The show did go on, Bracknell suffering their heaviest loss yet. But they're back in the limelight after their latest big win at Newcastle. Cardiff, though, are in the spotlight. They are top of the league.
It's always tough playing anywhere these days, you know, but it's a TV game. I'm sure they'll be pumped. They want to bounce back in front of their home fans, so we're going to have to be very prepared.
The type of team they have, we have to play a very disciplined defensive game, and obviously we've got to be in their face the whole night if we're going to be in this game. Because of the talent that they have and the skating ability, we've got to play very strong one-on-one and be in their face the whole night.
We are ice cold in Bracknell. If you're into winter sports, then this is definitely the place to be. Sky Sports brings you live and exclusive ice hockey action. It's the Super League. It's Bracknell versus Cardiff. Hello and welcome to the John Nike Leisure Complex here in Bracknell for a clash between the top and the bottom teams in the new British Super League. Now, normally you might think that that would mean the result was a foregone conclusion, but Bracknell have already taken the scalps of Newcastle and Sheffield so far this season. Can they now take the scalp of the league leaders, Cardiff? Well, my guest today is injured Cardiff forward Randy Smith. Randy, first of all, you've had a big back operation. How's the recovery going?
I think so far it's so good. Not to get into any medical terms, but what they've had to do is take a disc out and replace it with a kind of a titanium disc, and they've had to take some bone off my hip, insert that in the middle. Now it's a matter of that healing up, and it's going to be, you know, probably a month before I actually find out if that's healed properly and if I can get on with physio and things like that.
Well, we look forward to seeing you getting back on the ice, Randy. And just if you were noticing, he is wearing a brace to keep everything in place. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Just to be sure, of course. Now, the last time these two teams met, which was last weekend, because of that power failure, Cardiff then registered an 8-0 win over Bracknell. But, Randy, I am sure that the Bracknell team are going to have a lot more to say this weekend.
No question about that. I mean, leaving our rink with an 8-0 loss, they were probably, you know, embarrassed and upset. And I don't think we're going to see that same performance from Bracknell tonight.
Well, that shutout for Cardiff last weekend was one of two. They also shut out Basingstoke, and it meant that they stayed at the top of the Super League, just a point ahead of Sheffield. And on the road, Randy, at the moment, of those 9 wins that we see there, 6 have come on the road, 1 draw. You're unbeaten. You look forward to going away from home at the moment?
That's for sure. It started going around the team kind of jokingly that before the home matches, we were going to get on a bus at around noon and just travel around the city of Cardiff, so that when we got off, we thought we were on the road. But I don't know what exactly the reason is. Nobody's been able to pinpoint it, but we've done extremely well on the road. We've picked up our home record as of late, so hopefully we can continue with that.
Well, Cardiff, as we see, are flying high, and here are some of the reasons why. Talking to the Cardiff coach Paul Heavey a little earlier on, and he said that there is a real confidence about the team this year. Would you say the same, Randy?
Yeah, we had a little bit of a falter at the start with our losing record at home, and I think that a lot of teams were just kind of feeling the other teams out. Nobody knew what to expect. There was a lot of new players and new teams in the league, and now I think we've got you know, our ship in the right direction, and everybody's feeling really confident.
Is there a feeling then that some silverware perhaps may come your way this season?
I think that's always the feeling, when you're, in this league. But I think we've really, we're expecting to do well, and I think if we don't, we're going to be really disappointed.
Well, Cardiff have been making the headlines because they're top of the league. They've also been in the news because of Marty Uchuk's recent fracas with Nottingham's Daryl Olsen. Well, Uchuk is back in action after his 9-game ban today, and he's now talking with our reporter, Nick Rothwell.
Marty, it's your first game back from suspension. You looking forward to tonight?
Very much so. It's been a long month sitting out, training every day, and not really having a chance to go out there and do my stuff. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this game and just getting a few hits, getting a few shots on goal, and then go from there.
So that's how you're gonna get rid of the rust, eh?
Oh yeah, you gotta get right back into the fire, right back into it, and that's the kind of game I play. Is an aggressive, hard-working game. With the two line mates I have, McCarthy and Vezio Sacratini, there's gonna be the puck on my stick for a couple goals tonight, so watch out for that.
So you've kept pretty busy training, eh?
Yeah, training every day, and then when the days when I wasn't playing, I went to the gym, and I'm on this bike program with Ivan Matulik that we got from Glenn Anderson when he was with us, and it's kept me in pretty good shape.
Wonderful. Good luck tonight then, Marty.
Yeah, thank you.
The rest of the Cardiff lineup should be full strength, but Greg Ware, he's suffering from a little bit of a elbow injury, so keep an eye on him today. From Bracknell, they're more or less full strength. Joe Fratelli, he's suffering from a shoulder injury. He is the only guy that's not in the lineup. That's the team news.
Well, as you can see there, the team lineup for the Bracknell Bees. It's really the first time that Bracknell have been full strength this season. And Randy, we heard Jim Fiatchuk say in the opening that he needs disciplined defenders. Who out there are going to be stopping your guys scoring today?
When you're talking about defense, some of the names that come to mind would be Cote, Stewart, and McCosh. They seem to they've caught my eye the last 3 games. They've been solid. Matt Cote always plays solidly defensively, and the other 2 guys are going to have to help out. But again, it's going to have to be an all-around team effort. They want to, try and take time and space away from our guys because we do have a highly skilled team.
Well, there's a highly skilled Cardiff team and a team of big names. And you've got 2 new recent additions, Randy, the forward Ken Hodge and defenseman Brent Pope. How are they settling in?
Good. Ken Hodge came in from Germany. He has some previous experience in the NHL, so he's obviously a quality player. Brent Pope, he's not flashy, but he gets the job done. He's solid, he hits and moves the puck well.
Well, thanks very much indeed, Randy. This is a game really with all sorts of possibilities. Cardiff are top of the table, unbeaten on the road in the Super League, against the emerging giant killers of this season, the Bracknell Bees. Bracknell have already seen off Sheffield and Newcastle away from home. Can they notch up their 3rd major upset against the league leaders Cardiff? Here come the Bracknell Bees, a full crowd here to support them, and they would love to see them upset the top team in the new British Super League.
They've really got to work tonight. It was a bit of a disappointment last time, 8-0. So I think tonight is revenge time.
After the stuffing we gave them last week, hopefully we'll have a shutout tonight as well.
Bracknell Bees are going to win tonight! Yay! Say it once, say it loud, I'm a devil and I'm proud!
And there you have it. We're live and exclusive with the clash between the top and bottom of the British Super League. It's the Bracknell Bees against the Cardiff Devils, and your commentators for this clash, Bob Korol and, first of all, Tony Millard.
Yes, Bracknell winners just once in 5 starts at home. Cardiff have yet to lose away. You'd say a banker for the Devils, but as they say, hockey can be a funny old game. Bracknell, who ended their losing 6-game run with a win at Newcastle on Wednesday, start with Mark Bernard in goal, Matt Cote and Shane McCosh on defence, Peter LeMayo, Wade Butchis and Dale Junkin up front. Cardiff, a confident shutout in both games last weekend, produced a modern-day first for British ice hockey. Frank Caprice is their starting goaltender. On defence, Brent Pope and Kip Noble. The forwards, Doug McEwen, Steve Moria and Ian Cooper. For Bracknell, number 28 there, Peter Romeo, is their leading scorer. He's found the net 15 times this season, 8 of them in the league. It's his first season in Britain. The 25-year-old has played in Italy for the last 2 years. For Cardiff, number 19, Steve Moria is an important forward. He's in his 10th season in Britain, his 2nd spell with Cardiff. 7 league goals so far have given him a staggering 837 in all in British ice hockey. The referee, as last week with us, is Graham Horner, an agricultural engineer from Fillingham, up in the northeast. Playing from left to right in front of us then in the light strip, that's the Bracknell Bees, and playing from right to left in the red with the green shorts, that's the Cardiff Devils, who gained possession straight away with Kip Noble. But his pass is untidy. Only for Ian Cooper to whack the puck into the corner. This is McCosh coming away for Bracknell, number 77. Plays it out neatly, and good skating here from Dale Junkin, the first shot on target of the game. Knocked away by Frank Caprice, the Cardiff goaltender. His shutout was last Saturday. This is Cardiff now coming away. 19, Steve Moria. Over on this side is Kip Noble coming up into the corner. Taken away by the cover from Bracknell, who in turn come out here. And it's Cardiff's turn on their blue line to shut out the danger. Sparring in the opening seconds.
Yeah, both teams trying to feel one another out very much so early in this game.
Well, there's a great chance coming the way of Cardiff getting forward, but the goaltender Bernard was equal to that. It's Kip Noble, who gets forward so frequently from the back.
He's got great anticipation to move from that defense to the offense, and that's what makes him such a talented defenseman.
Well, this man, Doug McEwen, number 7, taking to the boards there for Cardiff. He's a key man too, but he didn't win that one. Now this is Peter Romeo coming away with the puck. 28 firing it into the corner for Bracknell, but its own side of the red line, which means we're going to get nice and cool and take it back down into the Bracknell zone.
Peter Romeo, he's a big guy. He's about 200 pounds, and he holds a cracker of a wrist shot. He lets it go very, very quickly, especially from that slot area in front of the net, Tony. We've seen that a few times so far this season.
Got a slot area under his eye as well there.
Well, it's obvious that he likes that rough, tough going. Jimmy Fierchuk, he puts him in front of the net on that power play. He's an awful difficult fella to try and move from in front of the net.
He's been in with Holyfield or Tyson, I think. Got a little bit of repairs, running repairs early on to the ice there, and, well, the puck being used as a tool to flatten the ice.
Lucky these linesmen hang on to those pucks, because they certainly come in handy when you're trying to get rid of a crack in the ice. A little bit of the old water bottle squirt as well.
Oh, well, delays all round, and the linesman down below us is going to change the puck as well.
Did you know that before the start of a game, they take probably a bucket full of pucks, they put them in some snow, and what do? They try and freeze them.
Well, Jim Farchuk there looking on the Bracknell coach, but now it's Shannon Hope, the captain for Cardiff, fires it into the corner. Zisha chasing it, and Bernard knocking it away with his stick. This is Ken Hodge, and the shot there is knocked down by the goaltender, and again, a little breather.
Ivan Matulik of the Cardiff Devils, he's a guy that certainly moved up the scoring charts. Big, strong fella. Lets the wrist shot go very, very quickly. Always getting the puck on the net. Kenny Hodge, he's right in there for any rebound. These guys are telepathic with one another.
This is Bugden coming away. Hodge, though, keeping it in for Cardiff. The newcomer. Frank Evans, big defenseman there. This is Hodge firing it in. It's going to be chased by Ivan Matulik. The cover's there from Chris Brandt. That was good and tidy. And it's James Bugden that sends him away. But Shannon Hope on the blue line for Cardiff breaks it up at the edge of the neutral zone. And Zisha, a cover from Chris Brandt. And Brandt, last time we saw Bracknell, certainly proved to be the man of the match. And he really is effective going forward and at the back.
Yeah, he's possesses a tremendous slap shot, and they very much key on him in terms of his offensive capabilities.
2-on-1 situation there. Matulik almost creating the opportunity, but great defensive work. And now here comes Brandt, that man. That shot's hard, high and wide. This is Shannon Hope collecting the loose puck now in the Cardiff defensive zone. There's half the team changes on the fly there. Grant Pellerin down in front of us, sending Jeff Johnston away. Johnston has a man with him, is Coles. Coles, a rare excursion forward there. He gets support too, but Cardiff in the end coming away with the puck there, and that was good work by Sacratini behind his own net. Johnston again firing the puck into the corner. It's going to be chased round this side by Pellerin. Big hit there by Johnson on his man deep in the Cardiff defensive zone, but Jason Stone, number 10 for Cardiff, collects the loose puck and feeds Marty Uchuk round the boards. Bracknell forechecking well and putting Cardiff under pressure.
They are, and they're really trying to outnumber them in the offensive zone, and that's one thing Cardiff have to be prepared about.
Well, it's going to go right back to the Cardiff zone again with that icing call. The linesman alert to that. Both teams changing over. And I know that Jim Fairchuk wants his side to do well here, but Cardiff's efforts here and on away ice this season have been very effective, haven't they?
They got a very good skating club, and if you give them that opportunity to move and skate, boy, they'll burn you to death all night long because they've got good, solid fundamental skills.
And that man, Paul Heavey, the motivator, the 33-year-old Scot, Coach of the Year last year, is voted as by the Ice Hockey Riders. And here comes his team away now, and a chance here for Doug McEwen, number 7. Great opportunity, but the goaltender doesn't quite know where that was. And I know that Mark Bernard is held in high esteem by his coach, Jim Fairchuck, among some very good goaltenders this year.
Well, I think Mark, he's one of the key individuals coming into this Super League so far this season, and he's certainly helped the Bracknell Bees so far. The puck just being shot to the net here, but it's Kip Noble. He's right on the money. Again, coming from defense to offense. You can see how he makes that transition. What a great skater, eh?
Chance there for Cardiff, winning that face-off there, but this is Peter Romeo behind his own net, skating out fast and hard to set his team away. Good defensive work on the edge of the blue line, and now Cardiff are going to come away. This is Kip Noble, Steve Moria firing it into the corner. Shane McCosh coming away behind his own net for Bracknell. 77. Good forechecking for Doug McEwen, and again by Steve Moria. But man in that attacking zone would have brought about the offside call, but McCosh brings it away for Bracknell. Junkin fires it into the corner. Chases after it, but Pope, one of the newcomers for Cardiff. The big fellow, Brent Pope, 23-year-old, joined them in September. Late in the season, after about 5 weeks of the season, in fact. This is Bracknell, though, coming away in the light colours. McCosh, 77. Chris Brandt down below is having his stick held up, but keeping going. And it's he that goes into the corner with the puck, holding off all comers. Eventually can't keep that in the attacking zone. Goaltender there knocking it down. Number 7 for Bracknell there is James Bugden coming away with a puck. Again in the neutral zone, it's vital for Cardiff, and this Shannon Hope slaps it out of his defensive zone. This is Hodge with the slap shot. That was hard, and I think it just got a touch on the glove for the goaltender there, Bernard.
Well, he was in that slot area. And when you get into that situation, you've got to make sure that you shoot the puck. Ken Hodge, he's a very capable hockey player. He's played in the National Hockey League. He'll know when he has that opportunity to let that puck go.
This is Frank Evans coming away for Cardiff. Good cover by Dean Richards. Just back in the country for the last couple of weeks. Brandt with the shot, it's wide. This is Stefan Zischer, the German, coming away with the puck. Matulik's in front of him, Hodge is behind him. Whistle with the cover for Bracknell. Just over 5 minutes we've been playing. End-to-end stuff. This is Chris Brandt. Fires it into the corner. He's going to chase. The cover's there from Stone for Cardiff. Ivan Matulik collects the loose puck, fires it against the boards, and up the ice it goes for Bernard to knock it down. And clear it out to Pellerin in the neutral zone. A good work here. This is McCarthy. Sacratini's the trailer. McCarthy with the shot. Brandt knocks it down and clears the rebound well. McCarthy again, though, for Cardiff. Not a single shot on goal by Bracknell so far with 6 minutes play. Can they correct that soon? Here comes Cardiff in the red. Good skating there from McEwen. The goaltender knocked over. We're going to get a penalty call here. The referee, Graham Horner. First call of the game. And we're going to get a power play, I think, coming the way of the Bracknell Bees in a moment.
Dougie McCarthy, he played for Milton Keynes last year, but boy, he's on a team this year with a lot of stalwarts, and look at the moves that he makes.
Well, it's Matt Cote that's got the call on him in that goal crease for the holding, and it's going to be a power play the way of Cardiff Devils. Matt Cote goes into the penalty box, the 30-year-old from Ottawa, and it's the first power play of the game coming the way of the Cardiff Devils.
Very defensive defenseman. Randy Smith mentioned this. Matt Cote, he's a great shot blocker. He's very steady in his own defensive zone. They'll miss him because they'll use him and try and key on him in specialty team situations, i.e. when they're on the power play or especially when they're shorthanded.
Well, we're talking the power play here, but Bracknell have improved their record recently because in the last 4 games, they've not conceded a single power play goal, and I know Jim Fairchuck, their coach, was conscious of the need to be effective in that department. They've got to work here. The power play the way of Cardiff. There goes the shot, just off target. McCarthy can't keep that one in. This is perhaps how Bracknell can keep their foes at bay.
You watch for number 41, Kip Nodal. You watch him move into that play and move out of it. You make sure. That's why they've got him out there, especially on this power play, because of his key in making that transition. He'll do it all the time.
This is Sacratini, back to the point to Doug McCarthy, number 5. Cardiff keep it in. Bracknell defending in depth. Here's Steve Moria. Defensively cleared. Power play clock counting down. They've killed half of it. McCarthy, and with him Wade Butchis. A little bit of rough stuff. Cardiff try to come away. This is Sacratini rebuilding from the back. This is Ian Cooper, number 66. 45 seconds counting down on that power play. Frank Evans is going to chase it in. Bernard clears it round the boards, the goaltender, helping out the men in front of him. Chris Branch is going to have to chase this. Kip Noble, the man that Bob is referring to, loses out. Chance of a short-handed goal. Here's Chris Brandt. Here's a chance for Stewart, and a good clock save from Frank Caprice, showing his quality in the nets there for Cardiff.
Coming out and cutting that angle down. Bracknell's first shot on goal, but I'll tell you what, the Devils caught flat-footed there a little bit, because you've got Chris Brandt, but you've got that up-and-coming defenseman. That's Rob Stewart. Somebody beside him, but boy, does Frankie Caprice have to come out here. Look at him, he's coming way out of his net to cut that angle down. That's a sign of a great goalkeeper.
And it's taken nearly 8 minutes for Bracknell to get their first shot on target, and Frank Caprice with the save. The first save of the match, but what a save it was. There's another one. And the backhander, and nearly a short-handed goal there, because they blundered in, and the man that had the opportunity there was Pellerin, and it's perhaps easier to score than not to at that point.
Well, Bracknell, they're not doing anything fancy. They're keeping the game simple, but they're driving for the net well, and they're moving and taking the body.
There's Ken Hodge trying to get Cardiff away, but the penalty is counting down, and back onto the ice comes Matt Cote below us. They're back to full strength, and that's 12 successive power plays against them in the last 4 games they survived.
Specialty teams becoming ever so very, very important, especially in this new Super League as it develops. So Jimmy Fierchuk, he'll be very, very pleased with the result of his players so far early in this game, killing that penalty off.
Well, I know Jim's not too happy to be at the bottom of the league, but he's trying to correct things, and certainly that win in midweek at Newcastle cheered him up no end.
Well, they went 6 games, without a win there, Tony, and I mean, that was bothering them a little bit, but they had a bit of a discussion. The guys worked very hard, went in there midweek, took the points, and boy, they're back in contention. This league's very close so far.
Bracknell Bees 0, Cardiff Devils 0, and this is Jason Stone for the Devils, number 10 chasing it back. Good forecheck in there from Jeff Johnston, 18 for Bracknell. This is the Bracknell captain Stewart firing it into the corner. Eventually the puck held up, plexiglass giving a problem, and get the face-off, I think, here in the neutral zone.
Captain of the Bracknell Bees, Rob Stewart, very smooth individual out there, plays the game very, very smart. Former member, University of Manitoba team, which will be visiting here in the UK in December.
I think that's going to form part of the British team's build-up for the Olympics, isn't it?
They will. They're coached by a former director of coaching, if you like, in the UK here for the British Ice Hockey Association, Mike Serrant.
Cardiff then in the red in front of us down here, coming away, clearing their defensive zone. This is Marty Uchuk, but it's taken in by McCarthy, and Uchuk's already in front of him. The offside call will bring the face-off in the neutral zone just outside that blue line.
Marty Uchuk coming off of suspension, if you like, and I mean, he's happy to get back into this game, and we heard him speak about it before. The couple of things that I was really pleased to see him mention, he's going to get a couple of hits in there. He's going to get himself back into action, and one other thing you have to say is there's nothing like game-type competition.
He wants to celebrate. It was his 29th birthday yesterday, Bob. Marty Uchuk, a birthday yesterday, and he wants to celebrate here this evening. Puck once again fired over the plexiglass, and again get the face-off, this time back down in the Bracknell defensive zone. And still with nearly 9 minutes gone, Paul Heavey there, the Cardiff coach, steered his team to the top of the league, and he'll be looking for another win here. They're unbeaten in 7 away matches in the league.
They are. I mean, they come prepared now, and this is one of the things about this new Super League is, boy, do you have to stay focused coming into every game. Nothing is taken for granted.
There's an opportunity, and Mike Bernard can't see that, and Stewart with the timely clearance in front of him was essential, and here comes Jeff Johnston to send his man away. Pellerin can't gather that cleanly. Gets it at the second attempt and fires it into the corner. 26 there is Mike Ware. Sacratini goes charging in. Johnston is there as well. The puck remains loose and they squeeze it round the boards. And this is Jeff Johnson. A chance on the edge of the crease. Great opportunity for Brian Pellerin there, but he was squeezed out by the defensive cover of Cardiff. He can chase again. Pellerin. 33 is Coles, taken on the boards by big Mike Ware and pulled down, and we're going to get the penalty call here. In a minute, this will produce a power play. The goaltender's going off to my left because Bracknell retaining possession. And now the referee produces the call. And the man that's going to go to the bench is Mike Ware, the captain of Cardiff Devils.
Mike Ware and Jason Coles, they've been keying on one another for that last couple minutes deep into Cardiff zone. And it all sort of ends in this, but I think there's going to be more than one penalty being called here.
Well, Mike Ware is in the box, certainly down in front of us already. Referee Graham Horner keeping his eye on it, down in front of us. Well, we've got a tripping call on Jason Coles and a holding call on Mike Ware down in front of us. And really, I think the Bracknell man was a bit stupid there because he'd already got the advantage.
Well, it was retaliation, and, you know, Mike Ware was going to the penalty box, but what happened was, you know, he, of course, created the infraction in front of the Cardiff goal, so that evens things up once again and, of course, nullifies any power play opportunity for the Bracknell Bees.
You could say clever stuff by Mike Ware to suck him in a bit there.
I don't know which way it went. I mean, Mikey Ware, he's certainly got a reputation of being one of the tough players in the league, and he takes the body very, very well.
Bit more space then down in front of us. This is Chris Brandt. Way to the right here is Dave Whistle. The man doing the work is McCosh. This is Brandt, though, again. Good cover, though, and now Cardiff with a bit more space can come away here. Steve Moria trying to set up Doug McEwen on the left, but there was good defensive cover again. Moria, though. This is Matt Cote. Coming away for Bracknell. The home team in the light colours. Good bit of defensive work there on the blue line for Cardiff by Brent Pope. This is McCosh, 77 for Bracknell. And there's a chance for Kipno, but it's a one-on-one situation. There's a snapshot. It's high and wide, and the angle was covered well by the goaltender Bernard.
Those passes, I should say, through middle ice territory, they cause all sorts of problems for you. You really got to be sure about them, because that's what put Kip Noble into the good.
Dean Richards with the slap shot. Good glove work there by Frank Caprice as that one is going high, I think, anyway. Frank Caprice, one shutout last weekend, and young pretender, his understudy, as you might say, Stevie Lyle, he had one as well. Lyle on the Sunday, Caprice last Saturday.
Frank Caprice comes with a great deal of experience to this country, having played in the National Hockey League and World Championship competition for Canada, and he's just oozing with that talent. And that's certainly going to help this Cardiff side as they go into the stretch and into the playoffs, because that experience is really going to help this team.
Penalties counting down in front of us, just over 40 seconds remaining. The ice rather thinly populated, but with a puck going out of play for the moment. Jason Cole sitting there. One of two Bracknell men to go into the box. The other one was Matt Cote. And for Cardiff, on the other side is Mike Ware. That's the first Cardiff penalty of the game.
There's a guy that likes to get involved with the game as well, Tony.
Neutral zone effort, and this is Ivan Matulik. A good defensive cover indeed from Bugden. Hodge chases it into the corner and wins it eventually for Cardiff. The puck doesn't turn out cleanly, and now here comes Bracknell coming away. This is Brian Pellerin, who had a great chance a few moments ago. This is Matulik again. Appear to be hooked down. We're going to get a penalty call to the power play the way of Cardiff, and it's Stewart that's going to go to the box. Matulik was away, and I think the Bracknell captain will be sorry about that one.
Well, he'd be displeased, I suppose, that he took the penalty, but I'll tell you one thing. was that going to be a nice 2-on-1 situation for Ivan Matulik and Ken Hodge? So maybe they prevented the goal early. We'll wait and see. But when this guy gets a head of steam up, he's very, very difficult to stop. And, you know, Rob Stewart knew that he had nothing but pay dirt ahead of him unless he did something about it.
Now we got a bit of space, Bob, because there's 16 seconds remaining on the earlier penalty, and that means we've got just 3 outskaters for Bracknell and a bit of space for Cardiff to manoeuvre things.
This is a time when you see a coach, as in Paul Heavey, he'll make sure that he gets his skaters out there, because look at all the room that they've got. You get time and room, and boy, you can do all kinds of things with that puck, Tony.
Well, there's Paul Heavey, full of thought and full of effort. Junkin fires it back behind his own net. This is Matt Cote. They've got to kill this one. Kip Noble is number 41. The passing will come now. Something to get the shot away. Noble's going to get the shot away. It's snapped. It's high and it's in the net. And there's the goal as the man came back on the ice. The Cardiff Devils were in front. And as Bob told you, the man that was the key to it was Kip Noble.
Kip Noble, he's an offensive defenseman, and they do key on him on the power play because he's got that ever such a big slap shot. Lots of action in front of the net, and that just takes away the view of Mark Bernard, and he doesn't see anything at all before that puck goes past him. Here it is. He puts everything into it. He's a little guy, boy, but he's got huge power into that shot.
Well, there we are, and I'm sure that that has ended that good run of resisting power play goals from Bracknell Bees.
I was speaking to Kip before the start of the game, and his wife's at home in Cardiff, and they're expecting a baby, and it could be any time now. We may only see him for 1 period or something here tonight, because he may have to get home for the birth.
Well, Shannon Hope getting the assist as they built, and now here comes Cardiff. This is McCarthy with the shot, knocked away by Millard, and the rebound. And it's Wade Bouchis that has to go back. The officials giving the assist on that Kip Noble goal to Shannon Hope, the Cardiff captain. He'll be delighted with that. Sacratini, another shot. This is you, Chuck. Bernard almost sent dizzy with that one. Once again going out of play, producing a face-off deep in the Bracknell defensive zone. Bracknell 0, Cardiff 1, just over 7.5 minutes of the first period remaining. And that goal from Kip Noble is 7th in the league this season. Spells the difference between the two sides at the moment.
It was another interesting comment that we were hearing before the start of the game. Randy Smith, our guest tonight, great guy, friend of mine from a hometown in Saskatchewan there, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. They're all saying, well, you know, before he went into that operation, you know, they were sort of looking him in the eye. Now they've kind of got to look up to him. So I think that doctor's done a good job. I think he's put a couple inches on old Smitty there.
Bernard, though, had to knock that one down under pressure. Smith got out there, but Moria was right on the edge of the crease and just waiting for any little mistake there from Mark Bernard.
And, of course, the other end of that story is, Tony, it's poor Kip Noble. He still has to look up to everybody, eh? But, boys, he got a shot.
Well, he doesn't mind looking up to people with a goal like that one.
There's a guy, Steve Moria, in front of that net, and he played his college hockey in University of Alaska. Every game he played in, he managed at least a point. That's a goal scorer for you.
And he scored a fair few in this country, too. This is Kip Noble, goal scorer for Cardiff. Steve Moria is with him, number 19. Noble clears the defensive zone. A chance for Cooper. The officials allow that to go. It looked to me as if Cooper was hooked down by Stewart, but I don't think they're really worried about that. And here is that man, Kip Noble, 41 for Cardiff once again. Well, there's the power play goal this evening. 1 for Cardiff in 2 power plays, none for Bracknell. And I can tell you that power play against Bracknell, the successful power play, was the first in 13 against them recently. This is McEwen. This is Almiola firing it round the boards. Shannon Hope. This is Ian Cooper, 66. McEwen firing it round the boards. Jeff Johnson is going to chase it. Moria picks up the loose puck and Bernard kills it dead against his net. A little bit of argy-bargy around behind the net there. Tempers are flying. The officials step in. And Ian Cooper falls flat on the arm.
Of course, anytime you got something going on in front of the net, you you can bet your money that Ian Cooper's going to be involved in it. But they've got Dougie McEwen, Steve Moria, and Ian Cooper. They're playing together as a unit. Spent a lot of years together in Cardiff, so they understand one another very well. And they drive to the net very well and support one another.
Well, Graham Hornus taking no nonsense here in Cooper, and Jeff Johnston going into the box for a couple of minutes. Both penalties for unsportsmanlike conduct, and they've got to sit out 2 minutes, leaving a little bit of space once again on the ice. Coincidental minors.
That's a bit of a unique call, I think, unsportsmanlike conduct. Here we go, though. We've got 2 guys in the penalty box, and there's still some controversy out there. Cardiff not too happy with those calls whatsoever. They feel that their man was pushed down first.
Well, we got 4 out skaters on 4. Jeff Johnston sits there, puts the gum shield back in. There's Ian Cooper chewing away. A pair of them are going to sit out a couple of minutes to gather their thoughts. This is Ivan Matulik, 22, coming away for Cardiff. Hodge is with him. Keeps it in. Matulik taken out on that one by Matt Cote. This is Chris Brandt, 25 for Bracknell. With the shot, it's off target, goes against the plexiglass, the penalty call as Shannon Hope hooks down Chris Brandt. Now we're going to get the power play, surely coming the way of Bracknell Bees, and that'll be a welcome respite for Jim Fairchuck and his men.
Keep the game simple, dump and chase. Chris Brandt, that's what he's trying to do here. Go in, get after it. Shannon Hope says, you're not going to get around me. Maybe a little bit of controversy there, but nonetheless, the holding call being made on Shannon Hope.
Well, down below us, trying to make room. 2 Cardiff men now in the box. Shannon Hope and Ian Cooper.
The Shine Dog, as he's called by his teammates, and he's a great guy to have around the dressing room. He keeps guys easy and that sort of thing before the game. Assistant captain, standing member of the Cardiff Devils.
4 out skaters to 3 in Bracknell's favour on this power play. As Chris Brandt tries to fire the shot in. 16 is Rob Stewart, the captain for Bracknell. Brandt is back here on point. This is Wade Butchers. Untidy work there, but he still retains possession. Dale Junkin behind the net is number 91. It's out to Brandt here. And that too wasn't really what he wanted. He couldn't keep it in, but now he's going to move forward. And Stewart, the captain, Butchers into the corner. Dale Junkin is 91 in possession. This is Chris Brandt. Great defensive work there by Jason Stone to clear the danger of what really was a pretty dire position for Cardiff there.
Bracknell, once they get the puck into the offensive zone, one of the things they've got to look to do is isolate one of the Cardiff Devils. 2-on-1, one of their players, to try and get that shot on goal.
Good defensive work there by Brent Pope. Dean Richards is 34 for Bracknell, but this is Sacratini for Cardiff. Now Chris Brandt for Bracknell. Stewart is over this side on point, and he's going to get the shot away. Does, hard, high, and just over. The goal comes adrift, but it's somehow kept back on its moorings by Frank Caprice. Time counting down on the power play. This is Peter Romeo. Dean Richards is 34. Richards with 3 goals in his 3 games so far for Bracknell. Well, the coincidental men are back on the ice, and we've still got the power play for a little while anyway, the way of Bracknell, counting down with 15 seconds. This is Johnston. Right on the edge of the crease. The seconds counting down here as they wait for Shannon Hope to come back on the ice and boost the Cardiff manpower. He's back. This is Brandt with the shot. The deflection into the net as he came back onto the ice. Chris Brandt fired it in. There could have been a touch on the way, but Bracknell are back in the game. It's Bracknell 1, Cardiff 1.
Cardiff Devils have done a great job, actually, of killing the penalty up until this stage, and it was a very innocent shot from the point. It really causes all the problems, but it is a deflection, and that just takes away from what Frank Caprice is thinking about that puck coming in on the net. There's the deflection, and you can see it just slip by him. Just eluded him ever so little.
Well, down in front of us, it looks as if the deflection was from the stick of Dean Richards, which makes him 4 in 4 games.
Well, he's been a tremendous acquisition for these Bracknell Bees. Since coming forward, he's been scoring the goals for them, and he's a quality player. He's certainly helped the offensive production of this Bracknell Bees side.
This is Cardiff having to come back now, though. The stadium erupting. It's Kip Noble clearing the danger here. Ian Cooper collecting the loose puck. This is Noble again. Danger cleared. The puck fired out of the Cardiff defensive zone. This is Matt Cote. Brent Pope is number 4 for Cardiff. Noble so influential. Steve Moria failing to gather that. Pellerin is 11. This is Dale Junkin for Bracknell, the home side. Wade Butch is 39, chasing it. Outwits Ian Cooper. Dale Junkin has the puck behind the net. And now here comes Cardiff. A little bit of a fortunate clearance that. And this is Matt Cote, number 8. Matt Cote with the pass. Number 7 for Cardiff there is Doug McEwen, bringing the puck out from behind his own net. Puck fired into the corner. Shannon Hope picking up the loose puck, and Cardiff come out once again. Cardiff in the red, Bracknell in the lighter colours. Cardiff playing from our right, come forward. Bracknell, though, clear the danger on the edge of the blue line there. And this is Frank Evans, number 11 for Cardiff. Dean Richards was chasing there. He was the goal scorer. This puck cleared, and here comes Ivan Matulik, 22 for Cardiff. He's got support. This is Big Ken Hodge, number 12. Chris Brantlow, who fired the puck in for the goal that counted for Bracknell. Richards again, and Stewart. Good work there by Ken Hodge, who comes out with the puck and sends Stefan Zisha away. And Almiola with the defensive cover for Bracknell. Tough from Stewart, who clears it into the neutral zone. And number 10 for Cardiff here is Jason Stone. Marty Uchuk feigns the shot, comes back, checks back on himself, creates space for Zisha there. But this is Peter Romeo. Fired into the corner by Romeo. Just under a minute remaining on the period. Puck held up in the corner. Bracknell showing battling qualities, and we're going to get a penalty call here from referee Graham Horner. And I think it's going to be, once again, a power play coming the way of Bracknell, and they'll be quite pleased with that if it materialises.
Mikey Ware getting a holding penalty here. This is one where you got to make sure you take your man, and I know Mikey won't be happy with that because he went for the puck and he forgot the body a little bit, and of course he had to recuperate from that move, and he picks up the holding penalty.
Mike Ware's second holding penalty of the game, and the power play coming the way of the Bracknell Bees towards the end of the period, and this could be a valuable session for the 5-against-4 outskaters for Bracknell.
Well, this is a huge change in the tides, if you like, for the Bracknell Bees, because of course, you know, the Cardiff Devils have taken a percentage of the play in this period, but only on this last power play that they're able to come back in and get caught up into this game. The big thing is that goal and that momentum has gone away of the Bracknell Bees.
Well, you could say Bracknell have their power play unit out there because Chris Brandt is there, Dean Richards is there. This is Brandt receiving from Brian Pellerin, who's there. The pass is astray and too good for 77, Shane McCosh. Just over half a minute remaining on the period. Here comes Pellerin. Brandt's in front of him. Brandt trying to shield the goaltender. Jason Stone taking into the boards, but here comes Kip Noble away from Cardiff. Puck knocked down in the neutral zone by McCosh. Dave Whistle is 21, collects it here. He finds Pellerin, who returns the compliment. Clock counting down. No penalty. Graham Horner shakes his head there on that one. And the hooter goes, they come back onto the ice, and the period has ended level, and I suppose it's honours even. A few penalties, 4 coming the way of Bracknell and 4 coming the way of Cardiff. But the goals counting, Kit Noble putting Cardiff in front. The reply, a deflected effort counting for Dean Richards from the effort from Brent on the blue line has made it Bracknell 1, Cardiff 1.
Coming up on Sunday at 6 p.m. on Sky Sports 2, part 1 of a live doubleheader from the NFL. It's Kansas against Chicago. But for now, we are live and exclusive with British Super League ice hockey action between the Bracknell Bees and the Cardiff Devils. And it is 1 goal apiece at the moment, and the John Nike Leisure Complex in Bracknell. Remember, Bracknell were beaten 8-0 by Cardiff the last time these two teams met a week ago in Cardiff, but they are holding the league leaders at the moment. It is 1 goal apiece. Well, one of the other top clubs in the British Super League is taking a rest from league action this weekend. Sheffield are in action in the semi-finals of the European Cup. They lost their first match by 7-5. They've been playing the champions of Finland today. Let's find out how they've been getting on and cross to our reporter over there. It's Tony Allen.
On Friday evening, in the opening game of the European Cup quarter-final group here, Sheffield Steelers ran into serious penalty problems against the Norwegian champion Storhamar, and after leading 4-1 late in the second period, ended up losing by 7-5. Steelers' second game against the host club, HBK, has just ended, and they've achieved what must rank as the best result ever by a British club in this competition, holding the fast-skating Finns to a 2-2 tie. HBK went ahead at 3:37, and they had much the better of the first period. They increased their lead at 29-38, but Steelers came more into the game after that. Tommy Plummer and Glenn Mulvenna forced great saves from the Finns' Canadian netminder Andrew Venner, and with only 14 seconds of the second period left, Rob Wilson put in a tremendous slap shot which Tony Hand tipped him for Steelers' first goal. Amazingly, 2 minutes and 10 seconds into the final period, defenseman Scott Campbell scored to put Sheffield level. But try as they might, and they did try, they could not get the winner. Qualification rests between HBK and Storhamar, who meet on Sunday evening. Remember, only the group winners go through to the final. On Sunday afternoon, Steelers' last game is against Polymyr Novopolotsk from Belarus. But whatever happens, they can't top Saturday's magnificent result, a 2-2 tie with HBK Hämeenlinna, from where this is Tony Allen saying good night.
Well, I'm glad Tony said that last name and not me. As you can see, the Sheffield Steelers have 1 game left to play in Europe. Unfortunately, their European Cup game hopes are really much over for this season. But really, Randy, a tremendous performance from a team, and Cardiff know all about playing in the European Cup, and it looks like the British teams are getting better over there now.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, in the past, they've kind of been the laughing stock of that tournament. Now, you know, Cardiff went and had some success, and now Sheffield has, and I think it just shows the great strides that British hockey is making, and I think in the future that the European teams aren't going to be able to take the British teams coming over there very lightly.
And do you think that very much the standard here has improved the standard both of our teams both back here and also playing in Europe at the moment then?
Oh, definitely. I mean, the difference from the league, I've only been here 3 years, but the difference from when I first came over till now is that you can't even explain the difference. It's phenomenal.
Well, so far in the game here at Bracknell this evening, the league leaders Cardiff are being held. It is 1-1 at the moment. And the first goal of the evening came from Kip Noble. And it's very much a move which Cardiff specialise in, Randy, coming from defence into offence very quickly. Yeah, that's one of Kip's strong points. He's, you know, during the game, you'd probably seen him 3 or 4 times jump up into the offense, and now he got a shot from right where he wants it, right in the middle of the ice, and he let a good shot go. I'm not sure if the goalie was screened by Cote going down, but it was a great shot right in the top of the net. And is that very much the sort of play that Cardiff practice when they've got a power play? Yeah, I mean, we want to get as many shots on net as we can, and usually they're going to come from the defense. So, you know, we want to move the other team's penalty killers around, get it back to Kip. He had enough time back there that he was able to get a good shot away, and fortunately it went in. Well, for Bracknell, most of the moves from them so far in this game have come through Chris Brandt, and he really is a very important player for Bracknell, isn't he, Randy? Yeah, he is. Last game in Cardiff, even though they lost 8-0, he was man of the match. And tonight, again, he's been, you know, most of the moves come from him. I'm not sure what play this. Oh, is this their goal? This is the goal coming up. Yeah, coming back to Chris Brandt, I thought I'd be talking about one of his patented rocket shots from the point, but he just kind of let a flutterer go in there, and I guess that proves the point. It's
not how hard. You just got to get it on net, and this one found its way in. So.
Well, the shot definitely came from Chris Brandt, but we think that Richards might have just got a stick on the end of that.
Touch there.
Well, Randy, so far, you're being held to 1-1. I mean, how do you feel Cardiff can move ahead now in the second period?
I think that's going to be a good, you know, Paul Heavy's going to be happy with that. When you come on the road, you don't want to try and get into a shootout right away. You just want to play good, sound hockey, nothing too fancy. So I think 1-1, you know, that's a good score, and hopefully we can improve as the game goes on and just, you know, make our move as the time moves along.
OK, thanks very much for the moment, Randy. Well, Kip Noble is the man who put the Cardiff Devils ahead so far. It was he who got the first goal, so let's hear from him now. He's talking with our reporter, Nick Rothwell.
Kip, after the last game you played against Bracknell, this is a little bit different, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. We knew it was going to be a tough game tonight coming in here. They played a great game on Wednesday, beat Newcastle 4-2, and we knew it was going to be a battle coming in. So for everybody's sake, including the fans, it's been a great game so far.
Yeah, they have a point to prove at home, don't they?
Oh, definitely. You know, I think they've been unlucky at times. I mean, they have a good squad. They come out hitting and they play hard every night. And, you know, like I say, bounce or two the other way, and they could be right up there with the other teams. But, you know, we're going to have to work hard to get the victory out of here, and I just hope we keep going and come up with 2 points.
Now, as a defenseman, they normally teach you guys to shoot low from the point. What was that with your goal there?
Oh, I saw one of their guys going down, and believe me, I wasn't aiming. I just shot and hoped to hit the net, and fortunately it went in.
Thanks a lot, Kip.
There, the Cardiff goal scorer, Kip Noble, and of course, Bracknell have brought themselves back into the game through a deflected goal from Chris Brandt. Now, one man who the Cardiff players have been troubling tonight is one man who we're going to find out a little bit more now. Here's one of the Bracknell players for you.
He's a good character. He's brought a lot to the team this season. He gets a little too worked up sometimes.
He's going to take us a long way, and, you know, we're counting on him to do that.
Hello, I'm Mark Bernard. I'm a goaltender with the Bracknell Bees. I'm 27 years old, and last season I played for the Hampton Roads Admirals. When I was 4 or 5 years old, I had an older brother that played, and that's kind of how I became a goalie. He'd always dress me up and out on the pond, and we'd be out there for hours with him shooting pucks at me. I've always prepared for games the same way since I was 6 years old. I do a lot of mental visualization. I play the whole game and just picture myself making saves and coming up with a big save at a big time in the game. I would change the rule about having players allowed to stand anywhere near the crease. I'm a small goalie, so I hate guys standing out in front of me. I'd make the crease probably about 35 feet big so I could see all the shots. And my worst habit, I think, would be sometimes I give up a little bit too much 5-hole. And being a small guy and having short legs, I can't afford to do that. I've got to be able to move my legs a little quicker. If I could improve my game, I'd try and grow 6 inches. I want to win every game. Every time we step on the ice, you want to win. So anytime we come out on the losing end, I'm disappointed, and I can't wait till the next match. I just would like to be remembered as a player that always came to the rink and worked hard, and be known as a good guy in the dressing room and around the team. There's some great teams out there. Every team is an excellent team, and we're going to have our work cut out for us, but that's my ultimate goal, is to be carrying around the silverware at the end of the year.
Well, Mark Bernard might feel he needs to grow a few inches, and I am sure the supporters here for Bracknell feel about 10 feet tall at the moment. Mark Bernard has faced 10 shots. He's let in just 1, this from Kip Noble, but Bracknell are keeping the league leaders tense. It's going to be a good second period.
Your team.
Part 2 of our live NFL doubleheader on Sunday on Sky Sports 2 features Tampa Bay against San Diego, but for now we are live and exclusive with British ice hockey. It is Bracknell, the bottom of the table, against Cardiff, the top of the table. And so far it is 1 goal apiece. Kip Noble putting Cardiff ahead with an early power play goal, and the goal for Bracknell has now been officially credited to Dean Richards with an assist off Chris Brandt. So there you have it, 1 goal apiece. Should be quite a second period. Let's join our commentary team, Bob Korol, and first of all, Tony Millard.
That goal from Dean Richards. Look at that. Sting hard, sting good, sting them like a buzzing bee should. Well, there we are. And they did. Through Dean Richards, his 4th goal in 4 games for the Bees since coming back from Vancouver to join them. Kip Noble's effort for Cardiff set them on their way. But this second period will start with a power play the way of the Bracknell Bees, with 71 seconds of it remaining. Bob Korol alongside me. They have planned for that surely during the break.
Specialty team situation again for the Bracknell Bees, and this is one of the things that they dwell on. They didn't really have a lot of success, we have to say, on that first power play, but they ended up scoring on it. So, you know, I think that they're going to look for a lot more tighter play.
Referee Graham Horner then about to drop the puck there. Dale Junkin is the man for Bracknell, and 19 Steve Boria was the man there for Cardiff, who gained possession, fire the puck up the ice. No icing calls, so they're going to chase this. This is that man, Chris Brandt, so effective on that power play for Bracknell early on that set up the opportunity for Dean Richards to tip it in. This is Wayne Butchis. Butchis with the shot. Drops down, comes back to Stewart. Stewart's on point this side. Brandt is on point over the far side. Cardiff defending in depth, getting men between goal and shooter. Wade Butchis, 39. Just over half a minute, and the puck's going to come out of that zone, and Bracknell are going to have to build again. Good defensive work by Cardiff. They're playing this well.
Yeah, one of the fundamental things, too, is they're keying very much on Chris Brandt, because they know that the Bracknell Bees will be trying to get the puck to him so he can get that big shot away. Take his room away from him.
Top right-hand corner of your screen, the power play counting down, 10 seconds remaining, and that man, Chris Brandt, in possession behind his own goal. Dale Junkin, 91. The power play counting down. And the icing call to take the face-off back down to the Bracknell zone, because that puck was fired from the Bracknell side of the red line, and it's Cardiff that are short-handed.
There's the guy with a big shot we just saw on our screen, Chris Brandt. They key on him when he's out on that ice, and he's got tremendous offensive capabilities. He shoots the puck very well. He's got good, quick hands.
So, Ken Hodge is going to take this face off for Cardiff, number 12. Ivan Matulik is this side. Shannon Hope is just doing a little bit of a change, the captain here with Frank Evans, as to who goes back on point.
And the Cardiff Devils
drop down. Cardiff back to strength. Their chance now perhaps to go on the attack. Big hit in the neutral zone. McCosh on Matulik. This is Frank Evans. Ivan Matulik is 22. Grant Pellerin intercepts the pass. Mike Ware firing the puck into the corner for Cardiff, 26. Already has 2 penalties to his name so far. Loose puck cleared into the neutral zone. Matt Cote is number 8 for Bracknell. He manages to beat Shannon Hope to that one, and Frank Evans is going to have to take him into the boards, and does. The puck comes out loose, and again here comes Cardiff now, and the chance for them in the 2-on-1 situation over this side. But McCosh is there, 77, with a defensive cover. A lot of work being done in the neutral zone at the moment, Bob.
Trying to take ice time and play an opportunity away from each team, but they're just almost like feeling one another out at the start of this second period, but it'll open up a little bit.
It does there with Jason Coles with the shot. It's just high, and Bernard was late on that one. Puck cleared up the ice. The officials wave it on. No icing call as Bernard sees it safely behind his own goal, and here's the captain Stewart for Bracknell. Mark Ellis it is that fires it into the corner. Jason Stone clearing it from behind his own net. This is Sacratini for Cardiff as they come forward. Great skating there by McCarthy, who read that well. Taken into the boards by Budgeon, the biggest hit of the night so far.
James Bugden there from Dalhousie U, eh? I'll tell you what.
You found that up here, Bob.
Whoa, am I glad I'm up here.
The danger cleared there by Bracknell out of that defensive zone. They regain their breath. This is McCarthy. Doug McCarthy, the leading goal scorer for Cardiff this season.
You know, one of the things about those hits, Tony, is you can see them happening and there's nothing you can do about it.
This is Jason Stone. Puck cleared out of the danger zone here, and this is going to be chased by Sacratini. The icing call will take the puck to the Cardiff defensive zone, And we can have another look, I think, at this hit, because it was something pretty special here.
There's the man behind it. Whoa-y. Talk about going right for the middle of the chest. I think he got all of them. I think he got his tiptoes.
I think Doug McCarthy might have said, well, I'll surrender one of my goals if I didn't have to take that hit.
Well, Dougie McCarthy's a great hockey player, and he's really come into his own since moving down to the Cardiff Devils, and he's proven that he's one of the top scorers in the league.
Kip Noble with a defensive cover there for Cardiff. This is Ian Cooper, 66. It only comes out as far as Matt Cote, but here comes Cardiff again in the red. And here's Steve Moria, but the goaltender's going to be equal to that and kills it stone dead. There's Mark Bernard with danger threatening.
That was Steve Moria getting ready to go in alone there. A long pass, just a little too much for him. Now that's one guy you don't want to have going in one-on-one with your goalkeeper.
Well, there's Steve Moria. In his 6th season at Cardiff, his 2nd spell there, and he scored an awful lot of goals.
If you speak to Stevie Moe, one of the things he'll say is if he could do anything with his game, he'd be a bigger guy.
Well, there's a good save there as that one whistled in, and the goaltender there, good glove save from Mark Bernard, is having a good night.
It's interesting to note Mark Bernard even notes that, doesn't he? He likes to keep those guys out from in front of the net. He says he's not a big goaltender. If he can see the puck, he knows he's going to stop it. You make that crease a little bit bigger, that helps those goaltenders, I guess, but that isn't going to happen.
There's a chance for Cardiff, and there, and Bernard, well, if he kept that out, he couldn't have seen anything there, Bob. Right on the edge of the crease, and Cardiff must have thought that puck was in.
Well, that was awful close, because, of course, Mark Bernard caught moving there. The shot coming in, but he's sliding in front there, and he's almost in behind that goal line. Boy, that puck was lucky to be kept out. Great save.
Face-off then, deep in the Bracknell zone. Slap shot going in from Pope, the rebound coming out. This is McEwen, 7 for Cardiff. Still in possession. Slap shot from Ian Cooper, kicked away by Bernard under pressure, and this is Chris Brandt coming away for Bracknell. Long-range effort, turn of the other goaltender, Frank Caprice, is a little on a holiday tonight, kicking that one away. 16-5 the shooting so far, and really well, that shows the pack of the play and how well they're working. Shot from Brandt. This is McEwen. This is Chris Brandt again. Almost deflected in, and the clearance just avoids the on-rushing Dean Richards.
Dougie McEwen having to watch that. He was complaining to his other players. He was the last guy coming out of the zone. No one to give the puck to. Chris Brandt right there. Just about takes it away, gets the shot on goal.
And that long-range effort knocked down by Bernard. Wade Butch's number 39 making his first appearance on the ice this period. I think he had a little rest on the bench there. I'm not sure there was a problem, but there's a chance there for Peter Romeo. Puck cleared up the ice, the official saying that that's icing, and back it goes deep down into the Cardiff zone. Well, we can have a look at the scoring percentage, and I can tell you that there's Bracknell, 1 goal in 8 shots, Cardiff 1 in 16. And you wouldn't really know which was the better of the two, or top side against bottom here, Bob.
2 shots to 1 in favor of the Cardiff Devils, and Paul Heavey, he'll know that his side has certainly had the majority of the play, yet that doesn't show on the scoreboard. Jimmy Fierchuk, he'll have to try and put his players together. He's got Junkin out there with Wade Butches and Peter Romeo. His top scorers, he's trying to get an offensive threat going.
Well, I think a measure of the effectiveness of the Bracknell goaltender this evening is that Cardiff really have the best scoring percentage in terms of goals in shots, goals related to shots this season in the Super League, and tonight, well, it's not quite that story. Peter Romeo for Bracknell. Until tonight, 67 goals in 493 shots was the Cardiff record.
They've got a lot of guys that can shoot the puck. We know that they've got good offensive skill, and you know, it all goes down to that talent element, Tony. We speak about this time and time again, but look at the talent on this Cardiff side.
Well, our statsman Gordon Wade has produced the fact that 31 of Cardiff's goals in the league this season have come in the second period.
I suppose maybe, you know, there's a bit of a psychological move. Teams let themselves up a little bit and let it happen in that second period. There it is, 2-on-2 situation. At least they're not being outnumbered in their own zone. That's a good sign of defensive play on behalf of the Cardiff Devils. Frank Evans, he's the man there. He's helping out back there. Good, solid defensive defenseman.
Back on point here, number 16 for Bracknell Bees. In front of us, their captain, Rob Stewart. Jeff Johnston getting the face-off back. In goes the shot long range. Marty Uchuk is there to pick up the rebound off the backboard and send Cardiff away. Pellerin, though, reads it well and holds up his man. But eventually, it's Bernard that's got to watch this behind his own net for Bracknell. Long clearance out of that defensive zone. This is Jason Stone, 10 for Cardiff. Under pressure, forechecking from Jeff Johnston. Cardiff eventually get it into the neutral zone, and Jason Stone is going to have to play it again back here. Quite a tight game being played by Bracknell at the moment.
Well, you know, as we said, they're not, you know, doing anything sort of fancy out there, Tony. They're just doing their job, taking their men and taking their opportunities when they get them.
And finding plenty of time to get forward, but now this is Cardiff coming away. Just under 7 minutes gone in this second period. It's still tonight. Bracknell 1, Cardiff 1. Cardiff going in front through Kip Noble's effort from the blue line. Equaliser, Dean Richards' 4th goal in 4 games, putting Bracknell back on terms. This is Jeff Johnston, 18 for Bracknell. Knocked away by the goaltender. Taken down here for Cardiff by Marty Uchuk. Doug McCarthy is this side. Uchuk is beaten to that. Dean Richards clearing the danger in the end on the edge of that blue line or defensive zone for Bracknell. Good forechecking by Richards, and now Brandt and whistle here, and a chance for Bracknell. Chris Brandt gets it back, and nobody trailing as he hoped they would have been.
That's what happens when you're the last man. You cannot afford to make that move and lose that puck. And when you do, there's nothing behind you but a goaltender and a breakaway situation. Oh boy, what a coach's nightmare.
This is Rob Stewart bringing it away. Cleared out of the defensive zone. Cardiff having to funnel back. There'll be an offside call here. He lets it go as Bracknell get possession inside their own defensive zone. This is Kip Noble. Right into the corner for Ian Cooper, chased by Doug McEwen. And now here comes Chris Brandt. He's got a man to his right, looking for somebody to his left. Good work on that red line there for Cardiff by Hope. Panic on the edge of the crease there. Bodies flying everywhere. We're going to get a penalty call here against Cardiff to give us a power play the way of Bracknell. And the referee, Graham Horner, once again, Johnny on the spot. It's Ian Cooper. He's going to go into the box.
He's cooling his heels for 2 minutes. He's got the hook and call there. He decided, listen, I'll just get this guy out of the road. I'll pick the puck up and come out of the zone with it.
A second penalty of the game for Ian Cooper, and another power play coming the way of Bracknell Bees.
Penalty on the Cardiff Devils for number 66.
The winner of the Bunny Ahern Award, Ian Cooper. He's been around the British game an awful long time. This is the first year he's been away from his brother Stephen, though. And, you know, that'll be a bit of a different situation, I'm sure, when they play Manchester.
Well, over 500 goals in British hockey for Ian Cooper. He won't get one by sitting in the penalty box.
The thing about his style of play, though, is it hasn't changed at all or one iota since joining the Super League. He still does very well what he does best, and that's play in front of traffic.
Bracknell, though, with a power play here, down in front of us. Stewart plays it wide right, just off target that one. McCoffey, 77, is going to pick up the loose puck. Fired round the boards. That's Dale Junkin, number 91. Rob Stewart with the slap shot, takes a deflection off the skate of Ivan Matulik. Relative safety, the puck in the corner. And now short-handed Cardiff come away. McCosh with the cover, Matulik chasing and skating hard. Taking Rob Stewart into the boards. Stewart knew he was coming. Cardiff changing on the fly. Bracknell with a man advantage now, storming forward. Dale Junkin gets it right. Wade Butchis is going to have to fire it into the corner, and does, where Junkin is already there. But nobody on point. And the loose puck comes right up the ice for Mark Bernard to lock it down behind his own net. Power play clock counting down, top right-hand corner of your screen. 45 seconds remaining. This is Chris Brandt. Good work by the Cardiff team on defence there in their own defensive zone. As soon as Bracknell got to that blue line, they knew there was a man there every time to stop him. One of those men coming forward is Chris Brandt, again so vital on the power play for his side. Good work by Richards. He loses out. Once again, the puck cleared up the ice. The seconds counting down. Just over 10 seconds now on this power play.
Cardiff Devils doing a great job, aren't they? They're not allowing the Bracknell Bees to settle whatsoever. And furthermore, get the puck into the offensive zone.
Dean Richards with the shot. Cooper's back on the ice, and the third consecutive power play that Cardiff has seen off. This time even Chris Brandt can't keep it in. He's got to pick up the loose one. There's the stats. Power play goals. Bracknell in 3 power plays, no goals. Cardiff 1 in 2. Chance here for Pellerin. Oh, only just wide. We were right behind that one. It was inches.
Of course, that popped right back outside of the zone again, and those are the ones that are very crucial, because especially if you got the guys moving forward.
Well, we've had, which we keep happening, too many men on the ice here, and we've got a bench minor coming up to Bracknell, and there is a dispute because Graham Horner, he felt that they had too many men there. The argument's down in front of us, and how can that happen, Bob, in a properly organised team?
Most often on the quick change, Tony, what happens is the players are coming off the ice and going on. Of course, the puck touches one of them right when the change is occurring, so you've got more than the complement of players that you should have on the ice.
Well, the man who's serving the bench penalty down in front of us is Mike Ellis, number 44. He's got to sit there comfortably now. And that bench minor for too many men on the ice puts the power play the way of the Cardiff Devils.
You can certainly see that Jim Fierchek, he won't be happy with that call whatsoever, because he'll take the blame for that one himself. Obviously making a change, a bit of an unfortunate incident, but you don't want these Cardiff Devils going on the power play.
Here comes Cardiff then on the power play. Great skating here. This is Ken Hodge with a chance and scores! Ken Hodge puts the puck in for his 4th goal in British hockey. His 4th goal in the Super League. The veteran of 142 NHL games has made it count.
Does he thread the needle on this? But the thing is the Devils are back as well. Bracknell doing a great job of defense, but boy, what a sharp shooter we've got. 3 Bracknell Bees covering that blue line, but Ivan Matulik's got so much speed that he still manages to gain the zone. All there for Mr. Hodge to shoot at, and he's got a cannon of a shot.
Goals on successive power plays for Cardiff, and Ken Hodge there, his 4th league goal of the season. He's only had 6 games, but of course 142 in the NHL is a lot.
Well, the thing about it is you know, he received voting as to being an opportunity for Rookie of the Year in the National Hockey League. Now, that feat is not achievable by too many players, and you know, he's a credible player, and his father, whose name is Ken, was a tremendous National Hockey League player as well.
Well, the unassisted goal, the way of Ken Hodge, making it now Bracknell 1, Cardiff 2. The Bracknell fans don't like that because they believe, I think, that the unnecessary bench penalty or bench minor was what made the difference. This is McCosh for Bracknell. This is Shannon Hope, number 35 for Cardiff. Effective defensive work. But here comes Cardiff. Matulik's this side. Is he spare? Bernard knocks it down, doesn't hold it. Number 8 for Cardiff, there's number 8 for Cardiff is Stefan Zesha. He's going in again. Puck fired out, accidentally albeit, for the Bracknell bench. And Cardiff still in front. That's the Bracknell bench. Loose puck coming back onto the ice. Miola there with his back to us, and 7 coming onto the ice is James Bugden. Slightly happier bench, the men of Cardiff. The Devils from South Wales. Paul Heavey, busy man tonight.
He'll be very pleased with the result of his team's efforts there on that power play. They certainly made short change of it, and that's got him right into this game, good and truly.
And now Bracknell having to work. This is Mike Ware. Bracknell clearing the danger. Bit of rough stuff down behind the net. Held up by Mike Ware. Cardiff winning the puck here. This is McCarthy, feigning a shot once, feigning it again, trying to find space, getting away. And Cote doing the chasing. This is Jeff Johnston for Bracknell. Puck in the corner, comes out as far as Sacratini. His slap shot is off target. Bracknell forced back, the puck going out there into the bench, and we can go and join Randy Smith, who's up in our studio. Randy, Cardiff leading 2-1. A bit close for comfort still, isn't it?
Yeah, we're probably a little bit surprised after we handled them so easily last weekend, 8-0, but it's kind of been a weird game. I don't think Bracknell wants to open it up too badly, and we're kind of just playing a good road game, nice and solid, waiting for our chances, and fortunately we're up 2-1.
What's the difference between this Bracknell side tonight and that on Sunday, Randy?
I think they're just being a little bit more patient. They opened the game up a little with us in Cardiff. I guess that was due to being down 2 or 3 goals, and they figured they had to get back into it. And you know, I don't think you can play a wide open style anymore against any team in the league.
Well, that man we saw there, Jim Fairchuck, is the man who's been thinking out the tactics, and now Cardiff back in action. Kip Noble with a slap shot, knocked away, and the defensive rebound cleared. Good work there on defence, because the rebound came out, and Almiola was there to gain possession. And once again, the goaltender, Mark Bernard, for Bracknell has to be alert. And gets the impression, Bob, that Cardiff are a little bit on top at the moment.
Well, the Bracknell Bee, there it is. That's synonymous with the sport in the Bracknell area. And I can remember playing here back in the olden days when they first started up, and they used to have a guy by the name of Mr. Jamie Craper, who's now an official.
Yes, one of the Super League referees, Jamie Craper, I believe. This is Kip Noble, 41. Brent Pope is number 4. And now Bracknell doing some good work there. This is McEwen. Kip Noble, 41. Cardiff building from the back and coming away here, and that was good hockey here as they move forward. This is Ian Cooper, 66. Doug McEwen is 7 with him. Back on point is Brent Pope. He's going to find space, and that really put Kip Noble a little bit wanting there on the edge of the blue line.
He was certainly in a position he wanted to be in, right in the middle of the ice in the offensive zone to get that shot away, but the pass being a little bit off there.
Well, this time they're waving it on as the puck is played in from the neutral zone by Kip Noble, and that gives a chance now for Cote firing it into the corner for Bracknell. The icing call. Now the offside call is fractional there on the blue line. Something went in just a shade too quick.
Matt Cote, the very steady defenseman for the Bracknell Bees, called up on Great Britain duty as well. And he's married a local girl here in Bracknell, and he considers this home.
Well, it's his 7th season with Bracknell.
And he just shoots that puck in there just before he crosses the red line to create the icing.
Puck fired into the corner. This is Shannon Hope clearing the danger, and surely going to be an icing call there. No, the officials wave it on. And Bernard has to be alert because Cardiff are pushing forward. This is Ken Hodge. This is Dean Richards working hard, bringing the puck out now for Bracknell. Played, of course, with the Newcastle Warriors and Dumfries last season, Dean Richards. Only just come back to join the Bracknell Bees, and Jim Fairchuck says he's been in touch with him for some while.
He has. I mean, you know, Jimmy was looking to strengthen his side, certainly over the summer, and getting into this league play, but waiting his time. He got it.
Puck fired out now, knocked down by Frank Evans, who fires it straight back in. Virtually caught there it was, and here comes McCosh. It's a 2-on-1. This is Brandt. Brandt fails to gather that, and nearly that was a chance, a real goal-scoring opportunity coming the way of Bracknell there.
What do we call those? 2-on-1 situations. Boy, I'll tell you, if they could have that one over again, I'm sure that they'd take it. You've got to try and get the shot away, especially on a 2-on-1.
Well, the puck fired out down below us here in the penalty box area. And remains Bracknell 1, Cardiff Devils 2.
This evening's programme, make your way down for the PMA sponsored Go for Gold.
Well, there's the badge, the 10th anniversary of the Cardiff Devils, 1986, 1996. A Super League championship for them will be welcome in this 10th anniversary year.
Well, they've got the capabilities, they've got the talent to get some silverware this year, and they've had a lot of success over the years. Tremendous job, a lot of accomplishment for this franchise in those short 10-year span.
Bracknell forced back behind their own net. Mike Ware keeping it in. Chance here, but the marginal offside decision here on the blue line. It was marginal, but I think Bob perfectly correct. I don't think Mike Ware kept it in.
Mikey Ware, he's looking at that blue line at the moment. There it is. No, that was definitely out, and he knows that. He's not making any sort of bones about the situation.
Well, we get some criticism of the officials sometimes, but when we're here and we see that, well, they have to make the judgment live as it happens. And did, correctly. This is Rob Stewart, the captain for Bracknell. Dale Junkin, number 91. Kicked away by the goaltender. Sacratini clears the danger, only as far as Bugden. Bugden gets it back into the corner. Mike Ware, number 26, knocks it down. Eventually, it's still kept there behind the net by Bracknell working hard. Wade Butchis is number 39. Using his feet well under pressure from Jason Stone. Eventually getting it back. Now a chance here. This is Bugden coming storming in, but the pass he couldn't quite control quickly enough. Bracknell at the moment battling. This is Marty Uchuk though for Cardiff. Back after a 9-game suspension. Whacked around behind his own net by Stone. This is Doug McCarthy coming away. Cardiff's leading goal scorer with 12 in the league and 5 in the Benson and Hedges so far. And Marty Uchuk went in too quickly there, and the offside call once again from the officials. Correct, but marginal.
The Devils struggling a little bit there in the defensive zone, not being able to get the puck out, and you know, Dougie McCarthy getting that opportunity to go coast to coast there, but plenty of bees back. You know, that's good defensive effort. That's what Jim Fierchuk has been speaking to his players about. Let's make sure that we're not outnumbered in our own zone. Let's get that coverage up there.
What can Jim Fierchuk do with the material available to him to convert his bottom-of-the-table team at least into a mid-table outfit?
Well, they've had some good results of late. I mean, they had that big result in Newcastle midweek, and that's put them right back into the thick of things. And the thing about it is the team has not got disenchanted throughout this. They know that they haven't been winning games, but they've been working together as a unit, and they think of one another as a team.
Well, that Newcastle result was amazing to bounce back from the big defeat at Cardiff last weekend.
That's right. They always say, as a team, the team as a whole will always be better and achieve more than a group of individuals. Action in front of the net there. Frankie Caprice, he's going to jump on that puck. He's another guy that's not that big in stature, and he wants to make sure that he takes no opportunities whatsoever with a puck close in front of him like that.
He got his shutout last Saturday, but I was pleased to see the 16-year-old Stevie Lark getting one on Sunday. Ian Cooper firing the puck into the corner. Once again, puck disappearing out of sight. Get the face off there. This time deep in the Bracknell defensive zone. A new puck, in fact, coming out.
Dougie McEwen, he's been around the Cardiff organization for a long time. He's now stepped into the office. He helps out with off-ice duties. Still a great skater.
Well, 7 seasons he's had with the Welshman, and I think he's very popular down there.
He is. He's involved in that junior development system as well. You know, he gets involved in the community and that sort of thing. Great guy to have in your club.
This is Miola, 22, coming away for Bracknell. Tries to set his team away. Matt Cote is going to chase the loose puck here. Bit of rough stuff in front of him. Chance here for McEwen with the shot. This one high over the bar and back off the plexiglass as Ian Cooper flips it round looking for Steve Moria. Miola a bit slow with the cover there as McEwen wades in, and he gets the puck first to move it around the boards with his feet. Puck stays around the back of the net, and now Bracknell read it well to come away here. This is good work from Jeff Johnston. This is Kip Noble, 41, scored the first goal for Cardiff in the first period. Here's Ian Cooper. Chris Brandt getting in the nick of time there to prevent the shot on the point. 21 for Bracknell there is Dave Whistle. Brandt with a shot, knocked away by Caprice. Looking for the rebound. Shannon Hope's defensive cover, though, marginally perhaps a little bit unfair, but effective.
He does a job.
Chance here, though. Look at this. Hobbs was just off target. He had the goal at his mercy, and the goaltender almost sprawling. Frank Evans storming in, but now here comes Bracknell. They're going to turn one, and one of them's Chris Brandt. Coming in front of him is McCosh. And the pass taking a deflection. And the chance once again going back because it's slapped around the boards by Shannon Hope. Goaltender covering the loose puck there just in case. Better safe than sorry, I'm sure, is not on that one.
The Devils getting caught there on the offense. Boy, the whole lot of them were deep in the zone with only one man back. 2-on-1 for the Bees. Not accountable, though. Chris Brandt just missing on that shot.
Well, we're coming towards the end of the second period. Goals have been a bit of a premium here this evening. Bracknell 1, Cardiff 2. Cardiff went in front, of course, with Kip Noble. 1-all at the end of the first period. Dean Richards on the mark for Bracknell. And that goal from Ken Hodge on the power play, counting for Cardiff to put them 2-1 in front. Bracknell trying to get back in the game. 5 for Cardiff there is Doug McCarthy. This is Marty Uchuk on the chase. Bernard knocks it down, get the icing call to take the puck back deep into the Cardiff defensive zone. Bracknell, well, with just over a minute remaining on the period, a goal would be quite valuable to them at this time.
Well, the face-off deep in their zone, and Jimmy Pierchuk, you'll be thinking about that. You want to make sure that he's got the right combination out there on that ice to take this face-off and make sure that they get that crucial shot on the goaltender.
No shot that man Brandt is out there. But it's Cardiff that forced the puck high, wide and hard up the ice. And the icing call will give us a face-off now in the identical position once again after just a couple of seconds.
Well, we saw the same play all over again, and Cardiff quite happy to go ahead with that play. And the reason why is because they don't want that shot to happen, and they have got to make sure that that puck gets out of the zone. Dougie McCarthy, an ever crucial player, he takes his time out there, but he knows that that's got to happen.
Puck held up there, bodies going in. Eventually Cardiff winning it as it comes loose. A man over this side could be valuable, Marty Uchuk. He storms in, but good poke check there from Chris Brandt, just inside his own defensive zone. Puck cut in by Mike Ware. Uchuk is 15 and misses it. Dean Richards clears it. 34 for Bracknell. It's back in that Bracknell zone as it's fired into the corner. This is Chris Brandt. Now they skate away well. Rob Stewart sends his man away. This is Dean Richards. Richards whistle, and that's going everywhere here. Good work by Bracknell. They're storming forward this time. Goaltender couldn't have seen that one. Brandt knocks it down. Still they keep the puck in. Again it's kicked away, and Cardiff come away. 3-on-2 perhaps for them here. Chance here for Sacratini. Good defensive work there by Dave Whistle with the seconds counting down. Cardiff will be happy to see the hooter go now. There it does, to bring down the curtain on that period. We may have only had one goal, but we saw some really competitive ice hockey. The goal that counted came from Ken Hodge on the power play to put Cardiff in front. It was 1-all at the start of the period. But now they know that Cardiff are in front, the league leaders in front, the bottom side behind. But at the moment, at the interval, as we go into the second period, or at the end of the second period, it's Bracknell 1, Cardiff 2.
Plenty of ice hockey coming up for you from across the Atlantic. Our next NHL game of the week features Boston against Pittsburgh. That's Sunday, 3 p.m, Sky Sports 3. And you add to that our live and exclusive coverage of the British Super League, and you really are spoilt for choice. We're here at Bracknell for the bottom club, the Bracknell Bees, against the league leaders, the Cardiff Devils, and it's been a tight game so far. Just one goal in that second period coming from Ken Hodge to give the league leaders the edge going into the third period. Well, my guest, Randy Smith, is from the Cardiff Devils, and Randy, they're still holding you down, and it was a very quiet period all in all, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. There wasn't really too much happening. We got one power play goal, fortunately, but the rest of the game was kind of tight checking, and they were really laying back, not wanting to make too many mistakes, and they played a really good defensive period.
Bracknell seem to have adopted the right tactics against you, don't they?
Yeah, like I said before, the last game in Cardiff, it was 8-0. They got behind a little bit, had to open things up, and in this league, you're not going to be able to do that. So they're just playing, you know, really patient, tight defensively, not wanting to take too many chances, but when they are getting chances, they're going forward with the puck. They're playing really well.
Well, one of the chances came sort of midway through the second period, and it was very much a case of Cardiff's loss of the puck, setting them up once again.
Yeah, that's happened a couple times tonight. That's one thing that Paul Heavey's really trying to stress, is to not lose the puck at their blue line or ours. And unfortunately, Mike lost the puck there, and it created a scoring chance for Bracknell. That's something that you know, everybody on the team's going to have to be aware of.
And I'm sure Jim Fearchuk will be saying to the Bracknell players, you know, why haven't you taken advantage of those times when you have been given the puck literally onto your stick?
Yeah, they have had a few 2-on-1s, and they haven't executed, I'm sure, the way they wanted to. I know Brant and McCosh went down a couple different times, and fortunately for the Devils, they didn't, you know, execute the play the way they wanted.
Well, fortunately for the Devils, they have got that crucial goal from the second period. Ken Hodge, the scorer, and your old mate from across the Atlantic scoring here, Andy.
Yeah, that's right. It's good to see him doing well. Ivan makes a good play here, so does Ken to stay on side. Now he's moving in with speed. He just goes in, and there's the shot that got him 30 goals in the NHL. It was a good play all around.
I mean, Matulik put in a lot of good work on this one,
yeah,
didn't
he was kind of held up there for a minute, and he got the puck through to Hodge still, even though there was a guy on him. Good
and
goal all
so
around.
how do you feel that Cardiff are going to be thinking going into this third period now?
Like I said before, they're not going to want to open it up too much. They're ahead 2-1, and they're playing on the road. They don't have anybody to impress. They don't have to be fancy. They just got to win the game. So I think they're just going to keep, you know, playing low-risk hockey, if you want to call it that, and try and squeak out a 2-1 win or maybe get an extra goal.
Well, that's what Randy thinks about the Cardiff tactics for the third period. I wonder what Bracknell's tactics are going to be. Jim Fearchuk, their coach, is now talking with our reporter, Nick Rothwell.
Jim, that was a pretty productive period. You must be disappointed you're one behind now.
Well, actually, I thought it was a pretty good period on our part. I mean, the idea with a team like this with so much talent, you got to be in their face, and we just got to be patient and wait for our chances, and we did. We had some good opportunities. We had some chances to shoot, and we just didn't. But, you know, if we continue to just play smart and simple, we're going to get more chances, and hopefully we'll get the goals that we want to win this.
And you almost got one at the end of the period there.
Yeah, I mean, I think, right, as I said before, you just got to be patient and play smart, and, you know, if we continue to do that, it's going to come our way.
Now, are we going to see any line juggling right now when you're looking for the win here?
Well, we're going to have to wait and see when that happens.
How about a neutral zone trap?
Well, I don't even know what that is.
Thanks a lot, Jim.
No problem.
I wonder if Randy can enlighten us. What is a neutral zone trap?
That's just basically when you want to try and trap the team in the neutral zone by letting them come to you, and you've got 5 guys lined up, and you just try and trap them in the neutral zone where they've got no play, and they've got to dump it in.
Well, you've heard what Jim thinks about the tactics for the third period. Do you think he'll get it right?
Well, from my standpoint, I hope not. I mean, obviously, I'm going for the Devils. It's going to be an interesting period. He's probably going to do some line juggling to try and get some offense out there, but he's going to have to still play good defensive hockey. It's going to be an interesting period.
It certainly is. Well, let's just turn our attention to international matters now, because Great Britain were in action in their latest Olympic qualifier earlier in the week. They faced and beat Slovenia 5-0 at the Sheffield Arena. So let's look back now at that game and the rest of the news from British ice hockey. The Slovenians seemed tired after flying in only a few hours earlier, and Britain took advantage, Paul Adey netting the first of the team's 3 first-period goals. Tommy Plummer had already got his first to make it 4-0 before this superb solo effort, also in the second period. It earned him man of the match. The visitors had no reply, Britain recording their first international shutout for 3 years. Nagano 98 is 1 game closer.
We take it 1 game at a time, and we try not to think about the big picture, but we make sure the goal is in our mind, and that's why we play every game. And, you know, Holland's our next opponent, and hopefully things will go well there.
Well, we started this, 10 games ago, and we're down to 5 now. So we're halfway there. A couple of big wins. We move on to Germany or Austria. And I think teams, we definitely can upset them at that stage also.
Britain are now just a point behind Switzerland. Remember, it's only the winners of Group A who go through to final qualifying next February. Peter Woods and his team know they can't afford to slip up against Holland before they face their final crunch game against the leaders in a month.
Let's go.
Newcastle were confident of reclaiming the top spot in the Super League on Wednesday, but Wade Butches's power play strike soon made them and their supporters think again. A helping hand from brother Sean put Anthony Johnson through for 1-1, but from then on the Bees were flying. Dean Richards put the icing on the cake. The final score, Newcastle 2, Bracknell 4. Their first win in 7 games since that other surprise defeat of Sheffield. Bracknell stay rooted at the bottom of the table but close the gap to a point. Cardiff's 2 weekend shutouts keep them top. Sheffield and Newcastle are also branching out. There's now a 7-point gap between them and the rest. Other news, and it's finally been confirmed that the Wembley weekend is no more. The 2-day playoffs are being moved and restructured. Manchester's 9X Arena, with its bigger capacity and lower costs, will now host the semi-finals and final over 2 separate weekends at the end of March. So looking back at that great win by Great Britain against Slovenia during the week, and Randy Smith, it really was a very good result for the British team, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think that puts them in a very good position. Now they've got Holland and Switzerland, 2 formidable oppositions, but I know the guys in our team are really looking forward to those games and hopefully getting a chance to go on to the Olympics.
How do you feel about the standard of British, the British international team compared to, say, the Canadians, the other big teams around the world?
I'm not really too sure. I mean, I played for the 2 years for the Canadian national team, and we never ever had an opportunity to play the British team. But seeing them play over here, I mean, all the guys are from the league, obviously, and they're all good players. And I think if they just get together as a team, they've done well so far. I mean, there is obviously a chance that they can get to the Olympics, and I know that's everybody's goal on that team.
Well, you'll be able to see Great Britain in action against Holland, we very much hope, on Sky Sports. We'll be bringing you news of the rest of their Olympic qualifying games over the next month or so. But if you fancy going to a Super League game, then here's what's coming up for you in the next week. And if you want a trip to a game on Sunday, well, I suppose there'll be an extra edge to this match between the Cardiff Devils and the Nottingham Panthers, won't there, with Marty Uchuk's return to the ice. Manchester against Ayr, Newcastle against Basingstoke, that's all on Sunday. And coming up, well, Manchester are in action in Europe on Tuesday. And by the way, the face-off time for that game hasn't yet been confirmed. So if you want further information there, call the 9X Arena on 0161 930 8000. And of course, there are Super League games on Wednesday, Ayr against Sheffield. And on Thursday, it's Bracknell against the Nottingham Panthers, and the Cardiff Devils, once again, a busy week for them against the Basingstoke Bison at home at the Wales National Ice Rink. Well, so far here at Cardiff, the league leaders have the edge. Ken Hodge has fired the Devils ahead. It's Bracknell Bees 1, Cardiff Devils 2. Next Saturday, we've got more action from the British Ice Hockey Super League. We go to South Wales to see Cardiff against Newcastle, 2 of the top teams in the country, live and exclusive on Sky Sports 1 at 6:30. And now we are live with Cardiff's game at Bracknell. And with Sheffield in action in Europe, the Cardiff Devils know that they can retain their place at the top of the table if they win here. So can they hold on to their 1-goal lead going into this 3rd period? Our commentators for that, Bob Korol and once again Tony Millard.
And for Bracknell, of course, the chance of moving off the bottom were they to win, so they'll be equally keen. And certainly the way they've come back after that resounding defeat at Cardiff on Sunday by 8-0, Bob, is quite something.
Well, that'll be perhaps playing in their minds somewhat, but, you know, they've kept this game very simple. This is one of the things they'll concentrate on that in this 3rd period. They want to take advantage of their opportunities when they get them, and they know that they're only 1 goal out of it.
Well, that 1 goal in it. The goals for Cardiff have come first from Kip Noble on a power play, Ken Hodge on a power play the second, and the goal from Dean Richards deflecting in the vicious drive from the blue line by Chris Brandt is what's counted so far for Bracknell. But here we go. Referee Graham Horner about to drop the puck. And away we go here for the 3rd period. It's Bracknell 1, Cardiff 2, just 1 goal in it. And, well, the next goal is going to be important.
If it goes either way, it's either catch-up hockey, Tony, or what is it? Well, we've got ourselves a tie game, and it's all to play for.
Catch-up hockey, insurance goal, call it what you like. This is Brent Pope, number 4 for Cardiff. Kip Noble scored the first goal, his 41. Here they go. This is Steve Moria. The trailer is McEwen. Good defensive work there. As the puck is put back into that zone by Kip Noble, but 2 of his men were already there. And therefore Bracknell can stay calm. That's a Kosh on the puck, number 77. just wonder, Bob, in a moment we'll have a little word about what Jim Fearchuck must have said or may have said to his side. But here's Cardiff pushing forward. This is Cote, number 8 for Bracknell. Helped by Dale Junk in 91, and Wade Butchers clears the danger. If you were Jim Fearchuck, what would you have said to his Bracknell boys in the dressing room?
Well, I think they've played a very good, solid fundamental game so far, you know. I mean, like I said, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. They're also at home. They've got this big fan support here. They'll use that to their advantage in the third period.
The sound seems to resound around this little arena. Ken Hodgson. Bracknell now back. This is Chris Brandt stepping inside his man. Jason Stone with a hit. Ken Hodge firing the puck into the corner. Mark Bernard, the goaltender. Whistle trying to clear it, but Cardiff with Ken Hodge. And Ivan Matulik's going to chase this one and could get there first, and a great chance there coming his way. Nearly a sad mistake by Mark Bernard.
He's probably one of the last guys you want to give the puck to, is Ivan Matulik going into the zone like that, but Cardiff failed to capitalize.
And now Bracknell come away, but Sacratini forces his man into the boards. And now it's Frank Caprice that knocks it down for Frank Evans to clear around the boards this time. Cardiff staying calm. This is Stefan Zisha. They've whistled. Marty Uchuk it is that wins possession here. James Bugden, number 7 for Bracknell. Put some order into their defence. Jason Stone is 10 for Cardiff. Mike Ware fires it around the boards. McCarthy's going to chase it in and dumps his man into the boards. Knocks the puck down and gains possession, McCarthy. This is Uchuk. But Rob Stewart reads it well, as does Brandt on this occasion. To come away with the puck now for Bracknell in the light colours. Good skating by Chris Brandt, has a man back on point. This is Bugden, who falls over himself. Sacratini does as well, but here comes McCarthy. There's going to be a shot here, but the goaltender gets that angle just right.
Chris Brandt, you know, I mean, he gets all these offensive opportunities, a good offensive player, but I'll tell you, is he ever strong on the puck as well? He's a big, strong guy, and he hits. Guys are almost scared of the tremendous potential that he has when he's out there. He's a physical player as well.
Miola firing the puck into the corner. McCarthy regaining possession as Cardiff come away, knocked down by Cote, who's robbed by Steve Moria here. Looks for the penalty. Miola it is that takes the puck into the corner. Eventually the loose puck coming out, forced out in fact by Steve Moria. The battle along the boards. The Bees in white, the Devils in red.
That's that specific instruction that Jimmy Fearchuck's been talking about. You know, you mentioned that, Tony, but there you are. These guys around one another, in there buzzing around, making sure that you're picking your man up. Nobody's getting away free out there.
McEwen missing that opportunity as Steve Moria gave him the opening. Coles it is that clears the danger for Bracknell. But Cardiff force it back in, and it's knocked down here, and this is going to come the way of McEwen. Great work there. Cooper getting the opportunity. Johnston with the cover, number 18 this time for Bracknell. Puck comes down from a great height there as it's held up back of the goal. But now here they come, the Bees of Bracknell in the light colours coming away. This is Jeff Johnston. Pellerin's to his right. Away to his left is Coles. But the effort was a little bit tiring. They wanted the change, and they are. Now here comes Cardiff. This time it's Brent Pope firing the puck into the corner where Bernard knocks it down because it's his man Dave Whistle against the boards. Shots few and far between at the moment.
Well, it's tight defensive hockey. Like I say, there's only one goal in it, and it's that one opportunity that's going to put this game wide open once again.
Well, we haven't had too many goals, just 3, and 2 of them the way of the league leaders. This is Ivan Matulik for Cardiff, number 22. Comes back to point, fired in by Mike Ware, just wide. Jason Stone on the edge of this blue line here, down below us. Comes out to Matulik, he gets the shot, the rebound comes out, could have been dangerous that, but now Bracknell come away. They have a 3-on-2 situation if they can make this count. As Matt Cote skates past Jason Stone. Stone falls down, his glove comes loose, and now here comes Cardiff away this time. Stefan Zisha, number 8, this is Ken Hodge. There's a man on the crease who puts it in. Oh, it hits the post there from Mike Ware as he went in on that one. Couldn't have come closer.
Mike Ware going on to the offense there. I don't know how that puck didn't go into the net. I'd love to see that one again because that was just a simple tap in.
Well, we thought that was going to be goal number 3 for Cardiff, and that man that had the chance, Mike Ware.
Well, it's the timing, position of the pass. Wowie, boy, there's a pipe work come in handy there. Mark Bernard still doesn't know where that puck is.
Well, a round post could have gone in or could have gone out, and it stayed straight out. And Mike Ware there, well, I know you know a little bit about him. His dad was over here recently.
Mikey Ware's dad, Jerry Ware. And what else does he do? He's a painter. Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Canada. That's a traditional building for ice hockey, let me tell you.
Johnson McCarthy here, Bugden looking to hook him. Dale Junkin fires it into the corner. Bugden's in front of him. McCarthy, though, collects the loose puck off the boards and fires it across the goal. This is Brent Pope, number 4. Skates past his man and round the back of the net and tries the wrap around as the puck comes loose. Defensively, though, Bracknell are equal to that. Peter Romeo, Junkin to his right. Caprice a shade shaky on that shot. Kip Noble is 41, gets around the boards. It's Cardiff come away, it's end-to-end stuff, but amazing, so few goals. This is Noble, 41. McCarthy's here out in front of goal. Big hit behind the net, takes Kip Noble into the boards. Bernardi could have the shot from McCarthy, though, as he knocks that away. Puck fired into the corner. Well, there's the scoring percentage so far. Bracknell, 1 goal in 15 shots, 7%. Cardiff, 2 in 23, well, that's 9%. A low percentage, but defensively, both teams playing well.
I'll tell you, if we'd have spoke about that a few years ago with that many, or such low shots, I should say, by both sides in this game, that's a sign of good defensive hockey. How the league has changed.
Well, the average in the league this season is 73 shots a game, and this is very different here. Ben Cooper's moving in front here. Good skating there by McEwen. Puck knocked down, and once again the rebound won by the defence, and away they come. This man, Chris Brandt, 25. In front of him is Al Miola. Miola fires it wide. Brandt, 25, in possession. Skips past one man and 2. Feeds Dave Wisser to his right. Caprice neatly knocks that down and away to his left. Dean Richards is 34, firing it into the corner. McEwen first to control that one as Brandt storms in. Slap shot from Cote is long range, and that's kicked high, wide and handsome into the top terrace. And up in our studio is Randy Smith. Randy, Cardiff still 2-1 in front, but Bracknell more competitive perhaps than you might have hoped or thought this evening.
Yeah, this is kind of a weird game. There's the pace is pretty much picked up in the third period here. The Devils look like they're doing a little bit more forechecking, and we've created a couple loose pucks. Ivan Matulik grabbed one there, and unfortunately for the Devils, Mike Ware hit the post on a great play made by Ken Hodge.
Well, the next goal is going to be absolutely vital. How vital do you believe it's going to be to Cardiff?
Well, if we get that goal, I mean, there's only 12 minutes left now. If we get it in the next couple minutes, they're going to have to get three to take the win. So if we get it, I mean, that might be the icing on the cake.
Well, Randy Smith in our studio, happy Cardiff man. Bracknell low, in possession. They're not going to give up. This is Brian Peller in number 11. Sparred into the corner as Jeff Johnston is held off by Brent Pope. Mike Ware. In storms McCosh, going to let puck down. The tough stuff is in the Cardiff defensive zone. This is Jason Coles, 33. Comes out to Matulik, who brings the puck away. He's got Ken Hodge going with him. Stefan Zisha on this side. Bracknell on the blue line, making it work. This is Johnston. Stewart is 16. Coles is going to chase that into the corner, but Hodge is there with the cover for Cardiff. Loose puck out, and Matt Cote is the defenseman for Bracknell as the rest of the players change round. This is Brian Pellerin. Deflected in the way of Dale Junkin. The offside call there with the linesman on the blue line there, and just in front of the puck that he goes.
Should we try and finish that story about Mike Ware's dad, Jerry, the painter at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto?
You've got some story about that painting, go on.
Well, he came over to visit Mike. Mike just bought a property in Cardiff down there, and he imported him in, you know, to see to paint this building. But they threw him out of the country because he didn't have a work permit, did he, eh?
He should have been painting in the ECHL or better.
He says it's the first time he's ever been an imported painter, you see, but what a great guy Jerry Ware is. He's about 6'5". You want to see this guy paint a building.
Well, the Suns are pretty big as well, aren't they? This is Peter Romeo for Bracknell. Knocked down by Frank Evans and cleared out of that defensive zone, but the stick was carried too high, and the face-off is going to be down in that Cardiff defensive zone. Well, just over 10 minutes remaining. If you were the Bracknell coach, Jim Fairchuck, what would you change, if anything?
I don't think I'd change too much. I'd just make sure that we're not going to get scored against. We're still in this game. The opportunities will come our way if we just show the patience that we need.
That man, Paul Heavey, the Cardiff coach, will he be fairly satisfied?
Well, you know, it's an away win at the moment for him. Randy Smith was just speaking about that. You know, they got to be happy with that. They're still ahead in this game, but they can't be complacent because it's only one opportunity that it takes to get them back in.
Well, 7 away games so far for Cardiff, and they've not been beaten in any of them, and really that's quite a record. If they make it 8 in a row, they deserve to be top of the league.
A few years ago, that would have been the other way around, eh? I mean, you come into your own home building, you know darn well you just have to show up and you're going to pick up 2 points. Such is not the case anymore.
This is Frank Evans, number 11 for Cardiff. McCarthy is 5, chasing it into the boards and coming away well. Good puck control. Good shadow there, Miola. Good defensive work. But McCarthy holds it up well, and he's got a man back here on point who's Jason Stone. Stone's backhand fires it into the corner. Across the crease to Sacratini, who's robbed in the nick of time. This is Frank Evans, defenseman getting forward. Sacratini gets it out. Peter Romeo is 28 with the cover for Bracknell. Chased back by Jason Stone. Sacratini. And back into his own defensive zone and rebuilding and sending McCarthy away, but Wade Butchers is there with the cover. Marty Uchuk back in the Cardiff side after a 9-day break through suspension. Going to get a call for too many men on the ice that time, and that's exactly what happened early on, and I think we're going to get a penalty coming the way of Cardiff, surely, the way that was played.
Well, the linesman blew the play down. Well, that was on a quick change there with Cardiff.
Well, Bracknell seemed to think that Cardiff had too many men on the ice. It was very similar to the call before.
There's the change. Is there anybody getting off the ice? There goes Sacratini. He's getting off. We got 5 Devils on the ice at that time. I think so.
But there we are. We're going to get the bench minor called by referee Graham Horner. Down in front of us, Doug McEwen doesn't like the call, but certainly if it was fair that Bracknell had too many men on the ice before, well, certainly Cardiff did that time. Still waiting for a man to come over in the box. The referee says, well, somebody's got to go in the bench. Down in front of us, Doug McEwen takes his seat.
Once again, this is one of these ideas that the coaches don't like. They don't like this at all. Jimmy Fierchuk had it happen to him. Again, you become shorthanded. That's not the point is, but you've really got to watch on those quick changes.
Well, there's the power play. Top right-hand corner of your screen, the way of Bracknell, and this could be decisive in this match. McCosh is number 77, firing it into the corner. Knocked down behind his own net by the goaltender, Frank Caprice. Cardiff clear that out of their defensive zone. And 16 here is Rob Stewart. Dave Whistle is 21. Dean Richards is going to chase in. Brian Pellerin's going to chase in, and McCosh is round the boards. That's Pellerin getting it back to point. Shot goes in from Stewart, knocked down. Ian Cooper's there to clear the defensive rebound. Stewart's going to get another one away. Lots of action in front of the net. Frank Caprice, they're trying to stop him seeing it. Dean Richards. Round behind the net again. Penalty clock counting down. Only 45 seconds remaining. Top right-hand corner of the screen. Just off target. That shot goes storming past the post. Bracknell fans are starting to make their presence felt. And here comes the break. And Steve Boria, calm, cool and collected. And then welcome that breeder.
You can see the Bracknell Bees formality there. They're sticking a man right in front of Frankie Caprice and trying to make him stand his ground. So any shot is going to come from the point. and try and be an obstruction.
There's the ace in the power play pack as Chris Brandt hits the pipework with that shot. Stewart, this is Brandt again with the shot, just off target this time. Ivan Matulik is 22, but good work. Power play clock counting down now, down below us. The bench minor penalty. Doug McEwen is back on the ice. The icing call will take it deep into the Bracknell zone, and Cardiff have survived an important power play.
Well, Bracknell holding some of their better players off to the latter stage of that power play, right? To try and see if they could put that little extra bit of penetration, I should say, in the latter stages of that power play. Didn't work for him. The guys got on a little bit too late.
Well, Jim Fairchuk has his notebook there. He's staying cool, but he needs to produce something in the closing 7.5 minutes here.
I think there's a story behind this. You know, when teams go on the road in this new Super League, the thing about it is they don't do anything fancy. They just get the job done. But the team at home, you know, they've kind of got to make it look a little bit better, try and do things a little bit more fancier because they've got the fans to perform in front of.
This is Cardiff. Frank Evans with the shot. Knocked down, the rebound there, and somehow Matt Cote gets behind there. This is McCarthy. Chance for Sacratini. This is McCarthy here. Knocked away by the stick hand of the goaltender Bernard. That's Cote's number 8. This is McCarthy, good stick handing, the backhand shot, and Bernard somehow manages to keep that out. Just under his body, and it was inches off the line.
I'll tell you, they're still arguing about that. You can see the Devils, they'll be complaining. They'll feel that that puck went in, but I do believe that Mark Bernard kept that puck outside the goal line. Is it in?
Well, they're claiming it went in, and certainly what the evidence that we saw, it didn't. There was no red light on, and the referee is having a word with the goal judge. Gives a face-off, and as we read it, Bernard kept it out.
It's very difficult sometimes when that goaltender gets pushed into the net. But there it is, Dougie McCarthy. He's the guy who gets the shot away. He waits and takes his time here. Bit of a tip in by Sacratini. But no, that's underneath Bernard, and it's certainly not behind the goal line.
Well, the right decision by referee Graham Horner. The goal judge hadn't given it anyway.
He didn't call it. It's really hard to tell from that angle, but nonetheless, I would assume that that's under Mark Bernard and certainly not across the goal line.
And there's the record goal shots on Bracknell goaltender. Mark Bernard, 27 shots. 2 of them have gone in. This is Ian Cooper for Cardiff. Doug McEwen is number 7, firing the puck in on the backhand into the corner. There's no. Moria is 19. Here comes Bracknell, trying to pull this back. Dropped down by Frank Caprice, the defensive rebound there. Well, significantly, both of those Cardiff goals, they lead by 2-1. Both of them have come on the power play, which is shown by those statistics there. 3 power plays, 2 goals coming away of Cardiff. Goals coming from Kip Noble, Ken Hodge. Goal in reply, Dean Richards for Bracknell, but they need another.
Paul Heavey, he's changing his tactics a little bit. He's not allowing really any forecheck whatsoever by his side. He's kind of letting his team come out of the zone, but take the opportunities away from them. Make sure that you pick the body up.
Well, Paul Heavey has just over 6 minutes to keep his team in control and retain their position comfortably at the top of the table. This is Frank Evans trying to help his cause. Defensive work there by McCosh, 77 for Bracknell. Busy night he's had. This is Rob Stewart. Dean Richards is going to chase. Frank Evans with the cover as Caprice puts it behind his own net. Frank Evans falls down. And he certainly helped with that puck being taken into the corner there by Doug McEwen. This is Mike Ware, the giant number 26. Collects the loose puck. McEwen's going to chase this. Bernard comes out and effectively dives at his feet. Well, the Bracknell goalie's had a good night. Hardly deserves to be on the losing side.
He doesn't. Everything's going into the offensive zone. There's the chaser. Hence, you got a goaltender jumping on the puck because he doesn't want to take any chances. That was also a great play by Matt Cote. Did you see him follow through with Dougie McEwen there to make sure he wasn't going to get a shot at that puck?
Well, there's Mark Bernardo, the 27-year-old from Hamilton, Ontario. Newcomer to the league, of course, but one of several good goaltenders here this year. 3-on-2 for Bracknell here. The pass from Dale Junkin just eluding Wade Butchis there. Butchis trying to win it back, but Cardiff occupying that defensive zone. Something of a crowd there, but now they come away. Stefan Zisha. Romeo clearing up after the big hit on the edge of the blue line there. This is Matt Cote, number 8 for Bracknell. Chance here. This is Matulik for Cardiff, 22. Puck knocked away. There's going to be a penalty call here. And I think Ivan Matulik is going to the box, and that means another power play the way of Bracknell. Could this be the last chance so long?
If you can call it an innocent call it what you want, but Mr. Matulik sits for 2 minutes on a tripping call here. I don't know, a game close like this in the latter stages of the game, you question it a little bit. This is after the fact. You can see the look on his face. Oh, come on. What are we calling here?
But more significantly, Bob, the goaltender, Mark Bernard, has been over to the bench to have a word with his coach. With time running down on the power play, could we be seeing a chance of a goaltender disappearing off the ice for a minute or two?
Well, I don't think we'll see it at this stage of the game, but it will happen. There's no doubt about it. Wade Butch is trying to get something going with that puck, but he's stopped by Matulik.
Well, Bracknell have a task to contend with here because Cardiff have survived the last 14 power plays they faced in the Super League, and that's some record. This is Chris Brandt, number 25 for Bracknell. Pellerin has to leave it. This is McCarthy. For Cardiff, Brantlow collects the loose puck here. This is Dave Whistle, number 21. Bracknell building. Dean Richards is in front. Whistle's moving in. Pellerin's moving into the attacking zone. But now short-handed Cardiff. Ken Hodge piles the puck up the ice. Cardiff change on the fly. With just under 4 minutes remaining on the game and just over a minute on what could prove a valuable power play.
Cardiff with that added bit of bench strength. They've got a little bit more solid lineup. They're going to make sure that they do those quick changes all the time.
This is Dean Richards, 34, behind the net for Bracknell. Jason Stone clears the danger, number 10 for Cardiff. As they're short-handed, there'll be no icing call. The penalty clock, top right-hand side of your screen, counting down on this power play. Going to be gamble time for Bracknell soon if they're going to get something from this. This is Chris Brandt, men going in front of him. Unlucky with the bounce back off the boards there. Doesn't come the way of Dale Junkin, except in the neutral zone. But there goes Junkin. Chance there with a shot just wide from Peter Romeo. Wade Butchis is 39. Chris Brandt is back here on point. 20 seconds counting down on that power play. As Cardiff clear the danger through Steve Moria, number 19. Bernard tries to get his team going. Down below us, waiting to come back on the ice is Ivan Matulik, having served his 2 minutes for tripping. And that's 15 successive power plays against Cardiff they survived in the Super League. Some record. Dale Junkin gets it out, comes in on the backhand. Here comes Cardiff, 2-on-1 situation, Sacratini and Matulik, but good work by Chris Brandt defensively. Breaks up the attack. Brandt knocks it against the plexiglass. Just over 2 minutes remaining for Bracknell to salvage something, and here's Peter Romeo. Shot kicked away, half-hit shot, kicked away by Frank Caprice. Junkin is 91. But Cardiff get it out of that defensive zone. That a big hit on Matulik below us by Bugden, but here comes Marty Ujak. Chance here for Sacratini and Ujak, and eventually Bernard. How he gets right on that one. Cardiff should have put that in. It was virtually 3-on-none.
Well, it stays out, and they're arguing, but I don't think that puck went in the net. I don't know how it didn't go in the net. Boy, they were tic-tac-toe passing right in on a 2-on-0 on Mark Bernard. There's nobody for Bracknell around other than the goalkeeper. A little too fancy. No, that doesn't go in. Does that go in?
No way. Once again, the camera doesn't lie.
Let's have a quick look at it again. No.
I think most coaches would have thought it should have gone in.
His stick's right on the line there. Boy, bear down in front of the net, fellas.
Well, last 2 minutes of the game. Bracknell 1, Cardiff 2. Just got a feeling we might have a timeout in a minute called by Jim Fairchuck, perhaps, to get something organised.
Well, he'll want to make sure he has his big offensive players out in that ice. He'll want them fresh so that they can do what they've got to do.
But Cardiff, they don't need to gamble. This will be game number 8 on the road without being beaten if they can hold on to this. Dean Richards tries to send his team away. Brian Perrin is 11. He's hooked out of it. Good, calm work there by Brent Pope, number 4 for Cardiff. Just under a minute and a half remaining. The home side desperately needs something out of this. Ken Hodge, though, sends away in Cooper for Cardiff. Cooper has time to check back. Time on the side of Cardiff. Hodge with the shot. Bugden clearing the defensive rebound. Here comes Bracknell. Pellerin's going to chase this into the corner. Just under a minute remaining on players. Brent Pope is taken into the boards, and Ken Hodge will surely just tip this out of the defensive zone and buy more valuable time for Cardiff.
There'll be quick changes by the Devils by both sides, but as you said, watch for the goaltender to come. Perhaps watch for a timeout as well.
Marty Uchuk looked to be hooked down. The goaltender's come out here, Bernard, to try and send his men away. Junkin fires it into the corner. The goaltender's off the ice to my left. And Bracknell are gambling here with an empty net away to our left. Puck cleared out of the defensive zone. Chris Brandt is going to have to chase back. There are just 20 seconds here. The icing call will take the puck back up into the Cardiff defensive zone. And now, well, for Bracknell, all hell has to let loose here. Any gamble will count.
Jimmy Fairchuck, this is the opportunity he's been waiting for. He'll call his timeout, and he'll be giving his players specific instructions there. Let's get the old chalkboard out here, boys. Let's talk about what we've got to do.
Well, Jim Fairchuck there, and there's a timeout going to be called here. We have a delay. Only one previous Super League game has had just 3 goals in it. That was a 3-0 win by Nottingham against Basingstoke. This is 2-1 to the league leaders, Cardiff. And if it stays like this will equal Super League history.
These are the instructions he'll be giving them. He'll be talking about that face-off. He'll be making sure that everybody's tied up and that the man that's to get that shot, make sure that he gets it. Now, you got to plug everybody up there, and everybody's got to be going for the net except for the guy that's the shooter.
While on the stop clock, there are just 19 seconds remaining. The timeout has expired. I'm sure that there'll be no goaltender away to our left. An empty net for Bracknell. Cardiff have time on their side and the score of 2-1 in their favour.
The empty net as you see it, and really all to play for now. Bracknell will have all their big hitters out there. You're talking about Butchess and Brandt and these sorts of players. They're the ones with the offensive potential.
Dale Junkin is the key to this for Bracknell, taking the face-off. But Cardiff win the draw and getting back to Frank Evans. And eventually it's fired around the boards and out of danger. We could have an empty net goal here as Sacratini breaks, and surely it's going to... Oh, he's the mist of the season by Doug McCarthy there, because the goal was at his mercy with just 5 seconds remaining on the play. The clock comes down. The game is over. The league leaders, Cardiff Devils, have won. They should have scored another. We've equalled the lowest ever in Super League history with just 3 goals in the game. 2 goals to 1, the victory of Cardiff. It was 1-1 at the end of the first period. Kip Noble for Cardiff and Dean Richards for Bracknell. A goal by Ken Hodge on the power play in the second period gave Cardiff Devils a 2-1 lead. But a scoreless final period, even despite Bracknell taking their goaltender off the ice and throwing everything forward, has given victory to the league leaders, Cardiff Devils, here at Bracknell by 2 goals to 1.
And so the handshakes between the Cardiff Devils team, they stay top of the league because Sheffield haven't been in action in the Super League because of their European commitments this weekend. Bracknell, well, they really tried, didn't they? And for a long time they'd held the league leaders, but they end the game 2-1, the losers. And as you can see, a very, very low shots on goal record there in this game. So, Cardiff Devils, the winners by 2-1, and my guest, Randy Smith. Well, delight for Cardiff Devils, obviously, a good result for them, despite the fact that there weren't really many goals in it in the end. Yeah,
well, it's a great result. Anytime you can come on the road, we've had a lot of success on the road, and again tonight we showed that we're capable of playing in any building, and we snuck out a 2-1 win, so I'm sure the guys are going to be happy. In many sports, we say about grinding out results. Is that what Cardiff did tonight? That's for sure. I mean, there was wasn't a lot of pretty plays, a lot of flashy things you can show on the TV and things like that, but it was just it was a solid performance. Nothing overly fancy, but they got the win, so that's what counts. Well, let's look back at the goals in the game. There were only 3 of them, so it's not going to take us too long. And it was Cardiff who took the lead. Kip Noble, and really you felt he was a key man for Cardiff today, Randy. Yeah, he's played well lately. He's a good offensive player. He's good defensively too, but his forte is playing offensively, and here he gets a good shot. Well, that was the goal from Kip Noble, and then Bracknell, a great shot by Chris Brandt, and just touched in by Dean Richards. That made it 1-1, and the final icing on the cake, as you said a little earlier on there, Randy, Ken Hodge making it 2-1 to the Cardiff Devils. That goal coming in the second period, and really a goalless third period there. But a lot of interesting tactics from Jim Fearchuk, the Bracknell coach, in that last period. Yeah, they kind of changed their style a little bit. They knew they had to get a goal or 2 goals to win the game, so they kind of opened it up a little bit. They were forechecking harder than they had. They were taking a few more chances. They were making some good quick passes out of their zone. They stepped up and did what they had to do. Unfortunately for them, they couldn't get another shot past Frank, so it ended 2-1 for us, which is, in my mind, a good result. Well, they didn't get any shots past Frank Caprice in that last period, but Mark Bernard in the Bracknell goal, well, what a third period he had. And how he kept some of these out, goodness only knows, Randy. Yeah, he's laying on his back for a couple, he's kicking his feet, he's waving his arms. Does a good job here, he keeps it out of the net. It's not how you keep it out, it's just whether you do or not. And of course, a little earlier, Mike Ware had hit the post as well. I suppose you guys felt that you never really were going to get it in the net in that final period. I mean, there was a couple opportunities where it looked like a sure goal, and all of a sudden they're going back the other way, so anything can happen. Well, for Cardiff, it means that they are still top of the league. They're unbeaten on the road so far this season, so no doubt their coach will be delighted, and Paul Heavey is now talking with our reporter, Nick Rothwell.
Thanks, Jane. Paul, they're all, they all count, don't they?
Well, exactly. 2 points is 2 points. We play very, very scrappy team. I've got to give Bracknell a lot of credit. They battled really hard. They were unlucky. They could have beat us quite easily tonight. And I give them a lot of credit. But in this league, we don't care how we get the points. 2 points is 2 points, and we're going to take them. That's for sure.
Ken, you got the game winner, but it was a pretty good team effort, wasn't it?
Well, we played good defensively. Finally, we gave them one shot, and that was about all we gave in front of the net. And that's important for us. We didn't play very well tonight again, but the most important thing is we came away with the win, and that's what we want to do on the road is win a game. And we got 2 points in the road, and that's the most important part of the game.
Do you think Doug will be upset with him missing that open net?
Well, we all were. It makes it easier when it's 3-1 instead of 2-1. But we had a lot of chances to score some goals early on in the game too, and give Frank Caprice a lot of credit. He played well in the net tonight.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yes, a delighted Paul Heavey and Ken Hodge there. And we heard a little earlier, Andy, that you know Ken Hodge from your days over in the IHL. Is he fitting in well with the Cardiff Devils team now? Oh, definitely. He's a player of great caliber, and also he's a good guy to have around the dressing room. He's always positive. He's been at the highest level of hockey, so he knows what it takes to win games, and I think he's been a great addition. He's probably only going to get better. How long has it taken the Cardiff team this season to come together? Because obviously there have been new additions to the team during the season. Yeah, there's been a lot of new additions, and the whole league, everything's changed. I think it took a lot of guys a little while to adjust, but I think we're going in the right direction now, and I'm only looking for positive things as the season goes on. Now, for Bracknell, some credit tonight. They really have played you well at their game. They have, no question about it. After losing 8-0, I'm sure that fueled their fire a little bit. They didn't want to be embarrassed like that again, and they played a good, solid game. And, a couple chances went their way. We didn't have the power plays. I mean, it could have been a whole different game. Well, for Bracknell, a tremendous performance, as we said a little earlier, from their netminder, Mark Bernard, and he is now talking with Nick Rothwell.
Mark, 44 shots on net and 2 power play goals. You couldn't really do much else tonight, could you?
No, the Cardiff Devils, if you're going to give them power play opportunities, they're going to capitalize. They got a great offensive team, and we had some good scoring opportunities, but they've got a great goaltender in Frank Caprice with NHL experience, and I think they're the team to beat right now in the Super League.
Do you think your defense has to tighten up and try and keep the shots further out? Well,
I think anytime we've been giving up 40 shots quite a bit lately, but I think we're going through like some growing pains right now, and I have no doubt that's gonna be cut down, and we just got to learn to play like we did on Wednesday night in Newcastle. We got to do that consistently, and we'll be fine.
Cheers, Mark. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Mark Bernard, and really Bracknell have played the top teams in the Super League so well so far this season. It is a shame that they didn't get the result they wanted from the game here. Thanks very much for Randy for his presence here from the Cardiff Devils, and best of luck in recovering and getting back on the ice. Our next trip is to the home of the Cardiff Devils. We'll be at the Welsh National Ice Rink for the Cardiff Devils against the Newcastle Cobras. That is our next game live from the Super League next Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Sky Sports 1. So Cardiff stay top of the league. They are unbeaten on the road. No doubt there will be some celebrations on the way back to South Wales tonight. From all of us here on the Sky Sports Ice Hockey team, bye-bye.